And then just Denny with his consistency with the AWP out on the Bulgarian side, always finding impact, opening man advantages, even sometimes getting multi-frags too. For HEET, I think Body really stepped up towards the end there against ENCE. We saw that he had a quiet performance overall in the best of three, but those last 5-6 rounds of Overpass, he was making so many impact plays. So the in-game leader of Body is going to be a guy to watch out for. And of course, Exercise. We've seen all this event from him.
Yeah, Mr. Consistent, if you will, for the HEET side. The main star player, arguable MVP for this HEET side in this matchup. And if he can bring that MVP performance to the grand finals, then it could be HEET walking away with a simple series. It's Overpass, the Skade pick to kick things off in our final match of the Elisa Invitational for the Winter Series is the pistol round.
Starting on T side is going to be Skade. How can they get Dreamer set up? 1.42 average rating in the last 3 months on Overpass. 5-map winning streak in for the Bulgarians. And it starts out with a lead towards the monster position. But Ships, he gets it right started with a pistol.
Oh, that is a hell of a way to open up. First blood drawn out by a P250 headshot. Raid boss in and immediately fragging for the Skade side. He are trying to find something to return. Body has spotted Rainwaker out there in Monster and will drive him back. May have seen bomb information and all. It doesn't force a hard rotate back from HEET, but it's still got 3 players on the B side.
They're still stacking quite heavily towards B, and you're right about that information play. Keeping that bomb just outside of the monster positions. They don't know about the other 2 players hugging the right wall, and Ships just waiting for another reface. They've got plenty of time to work with. That util for Bubble to follow. This could end up being a fake towards A to over-rotate the B players to then just bring that bomb into a monster contact.
There's no directive contact here in the mid position. They're just very passive on their side. So the walk forward from Ship should enable a bit more breathing room for Skade with Bubble right behind him and all. Switching out to that USP to upgrade from the Glock. It's very slow though. Very careful can Skade. This all seems to be a lurk play as well here in the mid control. That bomb's still a monster.
Yeah, they're faking this for sure. 2 smokes, 1 in front of Bubble, another one to use. They're going to try and see if they can bait them.
Engagement from Lucky takes that Raid boss out of the fold, but now the real hit comes in towards the site. Heaven Smoke's coming down, and Dreamer's starting to work his way out. They haven't forced any hard rotations. It's Jocko with a headshot back to turn the man advantage to HEET. Denny brings it into even standing at 3 versus 3. Now Body's seen 2 players, including that bomb carrier. Can't quite frag at the player at Prince, and Acelor will aggress, get himself another kill, not quite a second. Lucky there with a trade, and once again bringing in evens. 2 versus 2 retake here for HEET, and Rainwaker sat on the bomb. Back at default, Lucky working his way in from water up towards Rat. Will spot out Bubble and Rainwaker. Try focus on Bubble. He needs support from his teammate up at Heaven as Rainwaker gets his trade. Afro just can't seem to find a responsive. No Kevlar for him. He has to kit at 22 HP, and he needs to get a shot in soon. Spotting Rainwaker, knows exactly where he is. Get that headshot. But where's Bubble? Lone player standing out towards Monster. Afro, 5 seconds to the defuse. He's going to stick the whole thing, it seems. Bubble needs to act quick, making some noise. Afro forced off it. He gets the shots together, but he is not going to go for the defuse here. No time for it. It will be a pistol for Skade.
That's so well played for Bubble. Not even peeking in that 1v1 when the information play comes out to Monster. Knows that there could be a kit in play, so has to run it down and doesn't even take the full engagement. Instead, just baits him off the bomb, wastes all of that time. And for HEET, they actually do a pretty good job of not over-rotating, Jay. You see there, Jocko playing sort of on that pit and barrels position just behind Pillar, not really moving at all. So while the fake was coming up towards the A site, HEET still had the back of the mind thinking that we might be getting pulled for this. This could still be a B play.
They held on so well for the trades. Wasn't to be in the end for the CT side. Hard eco back for round 2 and just immediately Skade take the 8B bomb site. Nothing really in it here for HEET. They'll try and see if they can make their way in, do some damage, but the rifle power, the firepower, automatic power, all in it for Skade.
And now it just comes down to farming up, trying to get as much out of the MAC-10 as possible, but the majority of these kills are coming through with the AKs out towards the short pipe. Ships is not quite going to be able to get that 3rd, so Lucky does manage 1 kill. No weapon's going to get picked up with that. Try and go in for a little bit more damage. A 2nd round coming through from Skade. No force buy there from HEET. And what surprised me to an extent there was how much force buying we saw in the game previously between HEET and ENCE that come the 2nd round, HEET just don't even buy.
The odds on a cool bet do have Skade favoured in this opening map-up. Of course, their pick of Overpass. And so far, so good on the start. Pistol conversion, guns coming in early for HEET. They hard ecoed in that previous round, so there's M4s across the board. Head Kevlar as well to deal with the 2 Galils in play from Bubble and Dreamer.
Yeah, pace is going to be a factor that Skade need to try and make sure that they're not always getting red. Early nade down towards that T-Cob position. Look at the speed that they're bringing out to party.
Walking in 3 players out towards long. At least one's been spotted by Jocko. May have seen 2 of them. Don't think the third player got spotted on the cross. Denny should be unknown. Ship certainly is known, though. Afro takes the swing upon him, get the kill back. Second phase from Denny. Tanking a lot of the damage from the M4 here. They swap the AKs back and forth between them. Try to get it back into play for Bubble to strike back to a 4-on-4.
Yeah, not entirely necessary there for Jocko to keep refacing. They already spotted the bomb, they got the man advantage, and maybe got a little bit too confident in that situation to keep fighting. What they have found, at least, is look at the B players. They've slow-walked aggressive outside of Monster. This already gives the full tell that it has to be map control being gained in and around the long and bathrooms position with the shift up to A. But what they don't know is Dreamer's coming back along, and so might the bomb in T-Con to B.
Now the rotation's just pressing in for the Skade side. Lucky has this marked off here from the water position at short. Head on the platform, had a connector. Do they expect this here, Skade? They are creeping slowly, so it does indicate that they do. Achilles here, the Dreamer might be seen. Lucky might struggle to get the kill. It's almost guaranteed not to come through for the T-side line, but it does come out for Dreamer, so advantage turned in by Skade. Smokes down as the hit starts to come through. Exercise is on the center of the site, trying to find an angle on the outside of the site itself. Bubble is dealt with elsewhere as Rainwaker finds the trade back. 3-on-2, bomb will go down.
They don't have a smoke up towards a Heaven play. Body thinking about making the aggressive move. Rainwaker's right below him.
Gets the kill for it. Body had absolutely no idea. So it's Afro versus 3. Already found 2 kills in this round. It needed the ace clutch to hold the round itself, but realizing it's less than likely on 32 points of HP. So he'll fall back and say there's an AK you can grab also in long. So get that much out at the very least. A little bit extra firepower for HEET, but a 3-0 start for Skade.
They hit hard. Just look at those entries coming into the B site. The way that Dreamer's pre-aiming that short play from Lucky and then Rainwaker shot onto one of the anchor players just cancels that whole round really from HEET. Rainwaker puts himself in a good position under Heaven to deal with Body just jumping down, not expecting the play. HEET will be disappointed there when they've got bomb control or at least information of it and a man advantage towards long that ever since that point onwards, a lot of their advantages that they had just got taken away.
Feeling effective from their Skade side, feeling so efficient from them. Got control, and it's an easy start out for the Bulgarian side. Of course, the rifle round being gained is a big bonus to kick off this matchup. There's no real weapons around the AK safe for HEET here. Again, the half-fire, eco pistols, deco, in fact, for 4 players. Skade looking confident.
And it's funny for Skade that Overpass is the second highest picked map in the pool from them, yet we haven't even seen them pick it this entire event so far. It's always been left as those deciders to play in the map 3 contexts. And perhaps knowing who they're playing in a head-to-head is why they've decided to change the map pool. Out towards long, going to be that first player, Jocko. Surely he receives a flash.
Molotov's in to try to clear out the tree position, and Ships fired off by his own teammates. Jocko has been seen. Ships credited with the kill, Denny credited with the assist. It's easy pickings here for the Skade side. They've already opened up that ace side. Rotations will be coming in thick and fast because it is really that only one defender so far pushed forward. And Skade will not push forward of their own right. They're expecting more from HEET.
And trying to get a gamble stack in play and reading it correctly is going to be vital here for HEET on the eco. Leaving 3 players down on that B site. The AK is here. The issue, of course, is Afro on 39 points of health. You can't exactly chuck it to anyone else. He's the only one with armor.
Yeah, aim punch going to harm all others. In forward for Lucky, Exercise on the crossfire, playing the anti-flash position. Lucky to try to draw their attention away from Exercise. Gets spotted anyway. Rainwaker just walks in, gets the headshot, spots that second player, and now Afro's only player to defend back on the back of the B side. Dealt with effectively. 3 kills for Rainwaker, on for the quadra. Doesn't quite get it, it's Bubble with a headshot. Not like it was a big challenge though. Again, mostly pistols for HEET. Only that one AK that won't get saved into their true gun round now for round 5.
And the main criticism that we've seen for Skade so far with this roster change, and Bubble's even spoken about it, is the lack of an entry fragger. You obviously had Victor out on that Fiend side, and now coming through, we've seen Bubble do a little bit of entering. Rainwaker's been doing certainly a fair amount of it in the sort of early 4 rounds that we've seen so far in Overpass. And if we look at the impact that he's finding, he's getting a lot of multi-frags entering out from Monster.
And that last round, a perfect example of it. 1-0 at the start of Skade, and all those factors combined will lead towards a pretty decent start again for the Bulgarian side. Couple of ecos involved in that though. HEET have the guns out again for round 5. The AWP for Afro in particular being a highlight weapon. But Lucky's been tagged so early here.
Yeah, got spammed down towards that boost position. Exercise can re-smoke off towards Monster. Lack of map control being taken away on the B site for the CTs. Another nade set out towards Barrels.
Oh, that should take him down. Oh, not quite. He just got out of dodge just in time. He's lucky to be alive, quite literally.
Yeah, he was just wider on the angle, and now even a shot has come through onto Bubble, down to 13.
Pro's leaning in for a bit more, but the crack angle from Dreamer works out better for the AK. The AWP's now been dropped, but Rainwaker getting caught off by Jocko, aggressing here towards Park. We saw this from him yesterday on Overpass. He doesn't quite go forward to the second kill, though. Ships counters it, and then he starts to push into the A site. The bomb's on its way there. The smokes are down. The T's have presence now. One player's crossed out. Dreamer gets caught off by Body once again to a 3v3. Makes it 2, but Denny's sprayed the edge of the smoke. Almost gets Body to drop the same. So the even trades come in as Skade hard rotate back to the B sites.
And the bomb was going to take so long to get there on A. They needed to get the entries in that site control. Ships the one with the higher HP, and he loses that bomb. It's all down to Bubble with the AWP. Don't see this very often.
It could still work. Frimi kind of needs that one shot on Body here. 1v1, 13 versus 34 HP. And Body gets the headshot, seeing the shoulder bait and wasting no time for the wall bang. There's the first round for HEET.
Yeah, in-game leader versus in-game leader in that 1v1. And what does Bubble do there? He just knows he has to fight. He's trying to jiggle, get the information, and then maybe quick scope up towards that heaven angle. That doesn't happen at all. Body wins out the first round. And for HEET, capitalizing on the clutches, this is a start for them on CT now.
Now opening round for the CT half, of course. Took a bit of time to get there, but not quite as one-sided as Skade would like it to be. They're still the ones with the momentum and probably the economy game here. We'll see what the buys look like. Only one player stayed alive there for HEET. At least they hold on to that AWP, but there might be some limiting factors for the CT forces. And indeed, yes, one SMG for Lucky in this buy.
I don't think Skade expected HEET to kind of retake before the bomb was even down. Notice the protocol there from the Frenchmen where they just decided to swarm the bomb site. They've missed the boost. Nah, time's off now.
Yeah, they'll try it anyway, but they've missed the window. Danny just a bit mispositioned as the third man, not the fourth man up to that boost position. That'll throw things off entirely for Skade. They'll dismantle it in the end and try look for the standard default sets. No aggression from the CT side to counter it, though. They hold their positions on the B side.
Yeah, HEET haven't really been taking short water control, and maybe that comes down to the one round that Lucky was there. Dreamer with the Galil capitalized on it. So HEET realized, okay, what's worked for us and what hasn't. Being passive on B has more so led to better trades for them and put themselves in better situations. Denny's just scoped here with the AWP, hoping for a jiggle or a slight overextension towards Monster.
An overextension could come through from Lucky as well. He's tempted the face with the SMG. Needs to win a close quarters combat fight here, and he'll try force one out here at the edge of the Monster. Bubble just deals with him effectively. Gets the double up, looks for the triple. Not quite getting Body, but got damn well close towards it. Leaves an easy trade for his teammates, and Rainwaker will capitalize. A 4v2. The CTs are so far out position here.
I've got flashbacks to Ancient there with the way that we saw some of the XCs for Skade. Remember how dry it was? We weren't seeing the smokes, we weren't seeing the mollies. All we were seeing is flashes. That's a very similar sight take that we see there now on Ancient towards B. Just getting those flashes over. Just getting them high out towards that Monster position. And the CTs, they're caught sleeping. Bubble gets a double entry and makes it look easy.
Mention how easy those entries have looked for the Skade side in the previous rounds as well. It's another case in point with that B site hit. Dreamer to clean up the exit frag, to get rid of Afro. Catch Jocko off as well, make his own double work in this round. 5-1 now for the T side. Skade dominating on the T half. HEET very slow to start.
They have a 20% round win percentage less on the T side than CT for Skade. So to already see them 5-1 up speaks volumes of just how deadly their CT side can be. And the fact that they put themselves in this position, they're riding the momentum. They're making the economy difficult for HEET, because just when you win your first round and you've won a clutch, oh yeah, get in there. Body's won a 1v1. Oh wait, one person stayed alive. You mentioned it, Jay. Not a lot of money to work with. Now you've just been reset. You've got Eco going into round 7 now.
Tactical pause called in by HEET very early into this game, their first of the grand finals. And it is kind of characteristic to how things played out yesterday. Remember, Overpass was the winning map for HEET against ENCE. And they also got to a 5-1 scoreline with 4 in a row, then 1 return, then 1 back. And this was around about the point where HEET started to maintain momentum, when they started to find their formation on the CT side. So if there's a moment for things to change, it would be in this round or the next. They have got Deagles out, so it's not the best buy.
No, you've got to just hope for an opening man advantage to recover a weapon, to get an AK into the hands of Body if it's all at all possible. Very passive from Skade. And what I'm liking here on the T side is the variation. You've either got a lot of players stacked outside Monster early round, take some connector control out to Fountain and to Park. They're just making the setups very difficult to read from the first 30, 40 seconds of the rounds.
Flash setup from Body should allow Jocko to lean in against Rainwaker. Opting not to go for the underpass peak though. Rainwaker just put the smokes down and hold his position. Jocko will eventually get flashed forward, but the shot does not connect. The Eagle nowhere near the head, and Rainwaker kicks things off in round 7.
Yeah, timing's everything in that. I mean, Rainwaker only peaks once he hears the flash. So that whole setup is hoping that Rainwaker's already started to over-aggress. The flash has come through again. Rainwaker for the peak towards the right-hand side. Dreamer's there to back him up.
Then he catches an AWP frag on Exercise, so it's all falling apart for Heat in this round. Chips is facing around the corner. Dreamer does get caught by Afro at least, but Lucky's not long for this one, and neither is Afro for that matter. There's Denny with a double. And a 6-1 start for the Skade side now. Heat have the guns. Second chance to try and turn their situation around. Need to make up 5 for the difference.
It's a lot. And especially when it's grand final, pressure starts building for this Heat side. When we think about events that have already been completed under the new banner, they came first in that Multi-Vibes event, they came first in the RMR Open Qualifier. But when we think about the bigger prize pool, the tougher teams, and this kind of an atmosphere, we haven't seen Heat in the position so far.
They are making moves up the ladder, but not that many. It's on towards Chips at 19 HP to start things off in this particular round. At least that's a way in for Heat. But then looking to try and back in from Connector and Underpass, but just doesn't see anything. That early spot of 1 CT gets back out towards Short Body with a flashbang. Get the rate to try and catch these players off guard, but so far so little information being gained. Another engagement goes awry for the T side here as Rainwaker's tagged to 22.
I like this play that's coming through from Heat. Get the AWP very aggressive, put pressure down towards Connector, and Lucky knows with the AWP tag in on into Rainwaker, that's going to be an easy fight.
Made it look easy, of course it was. The start goes the way of Heat this time. Skade down on HP for Ship still. Making it a 5 versus 4 advantage for the HP and the man as well. Bubble will try to get a trade back on Lucky. Oh, the perfect flash timing there from Jocko, supporting the frag, and it's a high HP player taken out now for Skade. As the hit starts to come in, the smokes go down to body block on one player. Flashes over, will not see a peek in from Afro Exercise, considering it a toxic. The spray from Dreamer isolates that 1v1 alongside Denny to follow suit on Afro. 3v3 brought back by Skade.
Oh, very doable. And even Chips, they have not detected that. If Lucky goes for the wraparound play towards Monster, surely he gets caught off by the AWP.
He's going to go towards Short instead. Lean up to the site itself. Spray blinded. Sees Denny at the end of the smoke and gets in a drop now. Dreamer, the last player left on the site. Ships very far off anchor. Is going to have to come in from this Monster position and try to provide some support here. Flash is going over. T-side players working their way in. Jocko gets the headshot, and Ships is all that remains. Faced in by Body. I think they heard a footstep in that one, and it will be a retake for Heat. A triple for Lucky in that round.
Yeah, they got caught sleeping on the bomb site. Look at the way the Exercise doesn't have the sort of state of mind that there could be a walk forward from Monster, which is surprising considering the smoke came down onto the body block to gather the info. They deal with both the barrels player and out towards the pillar, giving themselves a 3v3. It's just the post plant. No more kills coming through from Heat. Lucky's play straight away out towards those short sandbags. Just gathered the information. Jocko deals with Dreamer, and Chips is already on low HP. He's hoping for a wrap play that's going to come through. It doesn't quite happen. Heat make it a second. Another retake by him.
And credit where it's due for the CT side there. They did have themselves a lot of team play bases to work from. The flash assists right there, the damage being done early into the round to lead to easy kills later. Like in terms of the team aspect, it was all there for Heat in that round, not so much in this one. Raffro burning alive very early on there. Down and out towards that short position, holding his angle. And double credited with the opening kill. Ships could not get the tap onto Body's head.
A lot of early man advantages are coming through from Skade when they take quick map control. When they get out here towards the short water, they're often putting a lot of damage through. Ships just trying to see if he can spam through again. The AWP's got to be careful about how it gets picked up and how it gets utilized.
Brought around the corner, dealt with by Ships. The lock onto the headshot, can't quite make it a double up. Body second orb, can turn it around alongside Exercise. This time it wants to holding out at least one frag. Denny with a responsive still maintains the advantage for Skade and gains that B site once again.
Oh, this is a difficult retake to come through. Jocko out from Con needs to try and strike straight away. He's seen 2 players. That's the first and the second.
Now Body coming in from the other side of the site as Denny holds deep in B. Up at water in particular. From Heaven is where the AWP will try and strike back. When will he find the man? Headshot seen. And the shot connects for the AWP. So the retake, despite being difficult for Heat, comes in good for Jocko's double. It's the 3rd round of the CT side.
Yeah, very impressive on the retake here for Heat, because again, lack of advantages when you think about the early starts into getting that short water control, putting pressure onto Afro, getting spammed with that molly too, and then this entry onto the AWP. They almost deal with body on the way back in. Exercise drops that bomb, but it's Joko's play. The couple of kills that he got from Connector, that was the round breaker.
Yeah, 2 1v1s given up by the Skade side, caught in pandemonium on the short control, much like how the CT side were in the early part of that round. A tactical called in by Skade here, while being down to the 3-round deficit as opposed to the 5 rounds they had earlier. Now's their chance to re-maintain their position. They have a buyback. They, of course, have plenty of cash. You can see Denny on 10 grand. There'll be buys involved for the T-side line. HEET maintain 2 rifles out of that previous one. The loss bonus is being whittled away. They should still be able to buy here, of course. There's a second tactical in a row, called in by HEET this time.
I wonder if Skade need to show a little bit more presence towards A. We think back to the last few rounds. We've had a lot of B exes coming through from the Bulgarians. Have not seen much in the first half up to the A site. We've seen a couple of fakes to draw the attention over, but typically the bombs ended up at B. Trying to maybe make it more uncomfortable for the AWPs. I mean, you think back to that last round, we saw the double AWP setup coming through. Lucky was aggressive on the short sandbags. Afro was a little bit further back passive on A. The money's not really there to go for it again, and knowing as well that it didn't get that much success, they could potentially think to themselves, oh, we don't need to run the double AWP.
It's expensive. Might not always be worth it. Just that single out for Afro, automatics, and everybody else here for the HEET side. No AWPs to Skade in this round. Happy to rock the AKs. They can still work out for them. Of course, plenty of cash. They could have afforded the single AWP if they wanted to. Molotov's in, ships again toward the short control. Dreamer naded out very early. Lucky thinking of a swing. Will he catch Rainwaker off? He'll see Dreamer instead, who'll peek in from the lower part and get that kill. Seems to be a fast walkout from the T-side line. They've already got players inserting themselves into Monster. Sprays through over the bridge. Then he caught off blinded. Exercise gets away with 1 bubble with 2 trades, though. Again, his entries effective from Monster. Overwhelming HEET. They're forced to save.
If we look at the grand picture of this T side and say, okay, what's the best advantage or best positive note we can look at Skade? Entry frags. It has to be, right? Whether it's out to short sandbags or it's out in Monster, we are seeing constant multi-frags by the guys in front, whether that be a Rainwaker or a bubble, sometimes even ships.
Honestly, Bubble's the man to watch every time he gets into that B site, man. Like, that was such a ridiculous play. And that's like the 3rd round he's got 2 or more frags when trying to get into the B site. He has found the level to Skade and might not even anticipated themselves. It's going to get him to 7, though. T-side half, 1 away from being 1. And he just to hold on to these weapons. And float on the money lines, not amazing. Jocko can probably drop a weapon, though. I think they probably scrape together a buy here, right?
Yeah, Lucky can buy himself, Jocko can drop an M4, Afro can do the same. They can even drop a second AWP if they're really feeling risky about it. And there's those entries again from Bubble. And notice the way that he's changed himself with the playstyle and some of the success. When he was playing against Eternal Fire, didn't really have the best of performances. The way that he was playing against Copenhagen Flames, it just felt like individually he was so much more involved in the game.
Evolution has been the name of the game for a lot of teams in the Tier 2 space, and certainly for Bubble individually. Last couple of matches have proved themselves to be worthy of a Skade dominating matchup. So far it's looking good. 7-3 current scoreline, and walks out towards long coming in from the T-side line. There's 1 player to defend it in Jocko, who's playing double duty on both long and mid. So they'll just walk up uncontested here.
Jocko is a very good bathrooms player, and just notice the 2 times that Skade had taken long, every single time he spotted the bomb and got the info.
That's info gained here for the CT line. They don't check bathrooms. Jocko's up there and ships. Gets his head taken clean off. Dreamer also heard here in mid-control. A divider. Jocko's caught looking the wrong way, so Dreamer gets the trade back. Body chimes in, though. M4 still at the back of the site at Dumpster. Flash is going over from him and a teammate. Counter flashes in from the T-side line. Don't catch anybody blinded. Just Dreamer suppressed from finding an entry frag. So Molotov back away from him, looking for his second on this site here. 45 to the clock. Incendiaries continue suppressing, and Skade just not allowed to break in. More flashes going over. The body does get caught by it. Trade's good for Denny and Rainwaker 2 versus 2. They don't check Pizza Corner, though, and Denny, the known ENCE, back over towards long, switching to the AK, sees Body's head, can't tap it off. 2 players to face. Body gets away with a triple, and it will be a 4th for HEET.
A very good time stalling on that bomb site for HEET. The counter utility, rotations coming through, and for Skade, they get caught. They're going for a long take, and it's very quick. They don't know the read has already been there, that they saw 3 players cross from Park over to long. So once they start going for the hit, it's the Bathrooms player, Jocko, to find the impact, slow the round down. Yeah, he ends up getting traded by Dreamer, but from that point onwards, just when you think about them getting into the bomb site, HEET are already there in mass numbers.
Up in for Denny, ready for the shot on Exercise, connects it, the 4-man boost comes up good for them this time. Starting off round 12 on a high note. HEET will try press forward on other avenues on the site itself. It's Jocko, picked up by Ships to a 5v3 now.
Hey, that was so much quicker with how the boost came together. Afro's heard a lot of footsteps over towards B. Lucky needs to find impact, but look at all the teammates. They're all starting to fall. And now Skade go, oh, they've probably gamble rotated over to B because Afro had that information. Well, Afro's gone, so just start shifting back to A now.
Again, these confident rounds from Skade just keep coming in for them. HEET just don't know how to deal with it. The trade game's certainly not there for Lucky and Body in this one. There's probably a safe call already from this. They're lucky they're going towards the A site. They're hearing that utility, the Molotov's coming down. They're not even acting towards it. They know they're out of this round.
Yeah, they're so pacey, aren't they, Skade? And this is what makes them such an exciting team, is that they're momentum-based. They like to play the quicker stuff. Dreamer even catches off a lurk because they've got the A bomb site, but yet there's still someone outside a monster that's doing damage. They've spotted Body. They can send players down to hunt this last guy.
Yeah, Rainwaker pushing in. Caught off. 2 kills to his name. And 8 to the board of Skade. Half has been officially won by the T-side line. And they look to extend it even further against HEET. Look at the money in the CT bank accounts.
And let's just take a moment to talk about someone like Exercise. 83 kills in the first best of 3, 44 kills in the second best of 3 against ENCE. A high performer, a consistent fragger for the HEET side when it comes to the quarterfinals and the semis. Right here in the grand finals of Overpass, he's 2-11.
We talked about him being Mr. Consistent a little bit earlier on. That's not an inconsistent number by comparison. We saw him having a great game over on that last Overpass again against ENCE. HEET struggling to really get started here on this opening map of the grand finals, and Skade, they're happy just to continue their momentum for it. Stack out towards long for the HEET side. Ships is ready to deal with them all. Has backup also there in bubble. They're playing carefully, trying to figure out where the stack will come through from HEET. Flashes over, Bubble and Ships lock it down. They do lose Bubble in the exchange, but the taps of the AK continue to come through, and now they can just grab that bomb committed towards that B site as they know where the last couple of players are at. And Jocko gets away with another good frag, so there's an AK that they can hold into the round. But nothing much more here for the HEET side. Definitely not around itself. Decent for an eco, though.
Yeah, Jocko showed us some pretty good flashes here in the Park position, but look how quickly that bomb just gets out of there. So hold on to the AK, bring it into the next round. A 9th round going to be coming through from Skade. I don't even think they need to hunt here. The money's, it's okay, but is it really worth it to send more players out against an eco just to drop 1 AK?
Nah, not really. The money's not fantastic for Skade. Like, yeah, they've got a pretty decent float of them, but you've got guys like Dreamer on no dollars at all. Like, that's the part. Also losing 2 players already, losing a 3rd player. That's when you start weakening the economy state. There's only a couple of rounds to go here. So Skade might not be their biggest priority, but you can see that they're not even going to bother for the hunt. So they'll just leave that AK to fall to the hands of Jocko, who he himself might reaggress towards the Skade side, so he might give up the fight. But he'll just sit here. And it will be a 9th to the Skade side. Again, standard eco for HEET. They got as much as they could do. Towards the rifle buy for round 14.
And for someone like Bubble regrouping up with Ships, yeah, Bubble, of course, had a very decent last year when we think about the results and the rankings that a team like Fiend was able to get. But if we think further back of when those guys were playing on Wendigo, there were times where, especially on LAN, like that was a good team. It was a top 20 team in the world. It won some very good events, both online and on the LAN atmosphere. So maybe that's kind of what Bubble's trying to reel back in by going over to Skade, is trying to reunite with some of the old teammates.
We talked about the Bulgarian history. So much of it to work with in the tier 1 and the tier 2 space.
Oh, Skade. Monster smoke, they're rushing.
Yeah, here they come, straight out for ships. Engagement against Lucky. Dreamer there for the trade back at the 1-for-1. And now continue pressing forward, not allowing Bubble to get the entries this time. Dreamer flashed off blinded from the bridge position, engaging on Exercise on the center of the site. It's Rainmaker with a responsive. A 3 versus 3. Exercise turns out a double. USP pulled out, aware of where Rainmaker roughly is. Switching to the AK. Both players blinded by smokes and flashes. And finally, Rainmaker can get the trade. One player at short, spotted on Afro. AWP against them both. Catches Jocko and is well aware of where Afro is now. Up for the 1v2 clutch. Denny is on 3 HP. That nade, I think, misses him here. Yeah, it doesn't do much at all.
Oh, they get the bomb down. Afro's got to be able to have the confidence to go for it. They know where he is.
Swinging the tries on Rainmaker, or Denny a quick tap instead. And now 1v1, where is Rainmaker? Out towards Toxic, same angle as the bomb plant position. Afro sees him swinging, but the AK has one better. A quick trigger finger and a triple to his name. It's 10 to the board of Skade. Decent effort, but not to be a clutch for HEET.
One of the best clutches we've got in Tier 2, Rainmaker coming up from that pillar position. And we saw that yesterday, didn't we, against ENCE? Some missed monster smokes by the city side. And I could just tell there from Skade, as soon as they see that smoke up on the bridge, go down there and not towards monster, you just send it. You just rush all the way in. Trading game, fantastic. So much acceleration with the pace here by the Bulgarians.
The best map in the pool here. Skade are dominating because of it. They recognize those mistakes and they'll punish you for them. SMG of Jocko does catch your bubble at least. Ships. There's the smoke. Jocko somehow gets away alive and gets the second kill for it. His aggression up here has been so stellar in the last couple of days. And this SMG, it will be a 5 versus 3 for HEET.
Oh, that was a slight surprise, wasn't it? Thought as if it was going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Not at all. Dreamer now starting to create some space. Hope to find an entry kill and make a way forward into the B site. Here's some of the positions start falling back to Graffiti too.
Very passive from the CT forces. Smokes back on Exercise boosted. Has seen Dreamer. Dreamer's seen him. Dreamer does not get away with a kill. Neither does Rainmaker. Denny with the AWP out. Finds 1 kill out of 5 in this clutch for the full-on 1v5 ace. Wrapping around against Lucky, knows that he must be there alongside a teammate Afro, who will swing quickly off the back of that 1 kill and get the trade together to at least close out the half with a 5th. To close out on a slight little bonus for the CT side, but it's still 10-5 for Skade. You kind of question with players like that coming in from Jocko, where was that for the majority of the half?
Well, the issue is when we think about ENCE, they took a lot of park control. They took a lot of fountain map presence on their T side. For Skade, they didn't really. So all those aggressive maneuvers we saw previously of Jocko getting into party and all the way up there towards T-Con just didn't really come into the fold. And as a whole here for HEET, a lot of individual round striking, their retakes being good, but looking at it from Skade's perspective, 70.3% win rate on rounds on their city side. This is looking fantastic for the Bulgarians.
Yeah, they could close it out in 6 from here. CT side advantage coming up to fruition, and they've already got the major lead above the HEET side. Remember, HEET struggled against ENCE over on the first half when they were on the CT half. They won it on T side. Is that more of a praise to HEET or an indicament to the ENCE camp? Let's find out. It's Skade on the defensive. Fast plays in from HEET. Rush out with the pistol. Ships engaging from 1. Gets away with that kill alongside Rainmaker. Doubles up. Dreamer coming in with a decent couple of kills of his own right. And now it's all Afro in the 1v4. Can only do so much. Overwhelmed with a lockout offensive in the pistol round from Skade.
That's an unfortunate call. You go for a B wrap. You're getting in from short side. Out from Monster. It's a straight on rush. And you're running into a stack. So many players there on the city side, and they even re-smoke off the sandbags. There's no way that HEET can cancel because the strat's already coming through. The monster players are running out. You just have to commit through that smoke, and the crossfire is there. 11 on the board for Skade, looking to really make this a one-sided affair in the map 1.
2 M4s, 3 for Masters versus Glocks out for HEET. Again, standard stuff from the French side. They love to go for the second round hard ecos. Go for the guns out early on both CT and T sides. No bomb plant bonus, of course, so it's less than justifiable to go for the force here. Body caught to 19 points of HP in the early engagements from Denny Slaw. Just hold back in the bathrooms. Expect there to be more T-side presence, but HEET will just slow walk their way into their defaults. Consider the B-Wrap as well. They have got to go through bubble.
Yeah, slight information play there from Rainmaker, and actually this play from Dreamer could pull the attention over. If they just pop out from the squeak door and try and explode onto B, just Dreamer's presence might set bubble up.
They're not going to act against him as of right now. Again, they're considering their rotation potential when they do go back into the A play. Drop that bomb for it. Denny, another good kill onto Exercise. Leaning out towards mid. The Ships lines up 2 more to make it a double for him. And Afro, well, it's the last player standing. Pop out, also to fall. No casualties taken by Skade. HEET, standard eco. Guns coming out for round 18, and this is where they need to start bringing it back.
And just place your mind, Jay, into the last invitational that came through. The final, Copenhagen Flames up against Fiend, they banged them. They absolutely destroyed them. When it was such a tough affair for Fiend every game up until that point, they came to the final and they were ready. They were set here to really destroy. And I'm seeing similar vibes here for Skade. They're coming in, they're executing their game plan, and individually, everyone is stepping up.
4 more to go for Skade to close this one out. Make it an opening map, their own map pick. HEET better be locked and loaded for Dust 2, because they might have to rely on that to save themselves the series. Jocko up towards top of Con, looking out towards the mid, control and party. Smokes down Molotovs from his teammates to try and allow the entries, get some breathing room. Not spot ships yet, they have now.
Yeah, this is a pretty good read, though, for Skade. 3 on A, 2 up towards that long side. They might deal with the lurk of Exercise first and then bring players back to A.
Exercise about to run into it as well for Marcin, for Rainwaker, and Exercise does not extend around the corner. Fight upon the Khalil, the AK rather, and the Famar to get away with as much as they can do here. The M4 actually lines up and gives Exercise away the double. And just like that, Skade have made their first major mistake in the matchup.
Yeah, without a doubt, just peeking as a unit, but instead peeking sort of one in front of the other and just getting lined up by Exercise. They needed to capitalize on that frag earlier on. Lucky's gone for a B lurk to do some further damage. Dealt with Bubble. This is just taking more weapons out of play.
Grab that AK for it. Ships will try to stick around. If he can get back down to the site and grab that M4, the best they can do is walk away with those 2 main weapons. And indeed, they will. A 6th for HEET. Back in control, back in the game, it seems.
You mentioned the first major mistake from Skade. That's probably the first major round we've seen from Exercise. Really getting involved there, having some high-impact frags, getting that multi-kill, making that A bomb site very targetable. And then the next anchor that sort of comes down of Dreamer, yeah, he gets 1 kill, but that's all. That was actually them already leaving the bomb site.
Question now is that double kill going to be spiraling Exercise into a decent performance now? Is that going to give him the momentum swing he needs to get back into the matchup? I'm not 100% sold on it just yet. Again, major mistake on that lineup. You should never be doing that for Skade. Overzealous on the Bulgarian side, and HEET can now bring themselves to a 6-round deficit. The guns back in for Skade, of course. They have the 2 save weapons. They're buying into the M4s and everybody else.
Ooh, this setup's going to get aggressive. I think the CTs are going to fight party. Look at how many players there are.
Missed nades early, Bubble gets involved, 1 frag found, Exercise responds towards it. Okay, that's an encouraging follow-up frag for him. A 4v4 gain, so they don't gain the man advantage for HEET just yet.
Oh, look at this, though. Ship's going to get further aggressive. He can actually allow Denny just to fall back, go into connector and help out his teammate. This is a great play.
Exercise not as familiar with Jocko's aggressive plays as the opponents have been, but Denny gets credited with the kill anyway. Ships can just maintain the map control, and Rainwaker can follow suit in connector. Jocko to fall. A 4 versus 2. Skade hold control. They spotted out 1 player on the HEET side. The flashbangs coming in from Lucky could blind off Dreamer. Over towards Grill. He gets away with a tag, but not the frag onto Body. Ships will close on the backstab anyway. Almost catch the kill. Body just barely evades it. And tiny mistakes coming in now from the Skade side. He able to cross successfully and unscathed by that M4. The bomb could go down from here, but there's so much CT presence around the site. They've got to get a trade, bring it back to a 2v2, and Denny says no. Shuts down 1, not quite the second. Lucky with a decent nade back towards Ships' position, but Rainwaker's his big concern. Hearing the footsteps, knows the rotations inbound, almost catches that player for dead. Lucky should secure the bomb site. The retake is another question.
Just get the bomb down and play it out from there. Needs to try and play it aggressive. Has to take some fights immediately.
AK's aggressing, and Rainwaker just gets a good tag off. Lucky on low HP, so it was always going to be an easy fight for Skade to win. They bring in that 13th HEET. When he felt like that could have been momentum swing, they just don't get anything out for the follow-up round.
They're just not giving them any respect. Notice the way we just lose a sloppy round. It's out towards long. What do? Instantly? Take map control. Get aggressive. And everyone's backing each other up really well there. Bubble goes super aggressive up to the fountain. He gets 1. Then look at the next couple of players. You've got Rainwaker, who's gone aggressive. Shipsu, who's done the same. Dreamer, he's unfortunate, right? He's playing out from the grill. He just gets blinded absolutely in for that side take. But overall for Skade, they read that. They had the man advantages, and they knew that that bomb was shifting over to B.
Fight towards mid. You mentioned it in the start of the round itself. Skade won out so much because of it. Ultimately, the round itself going the way of the CT forces. Heat did get a bomb plant, though. They have a buyback. As broken as it might be with the Galil out. The tower boost again on Afro. The AWP spots out Dreamer and gives Skade a bit of a taste of their own medicine. They dished that out in the first half, and it's Heat with an early man advantage.
We're even now when it comes to some of the AWP boosts. What does Skade do with the backup? What's the protocol to try and fight back here? Denny is in a very interesting angle with the AWP. You don't see this being held very often. It's either very aggressive or just out of con completely.
Standing by and waiting. No one's going to give him anything here for Heat. So slow, so careful. I mean, just look at the passiveness in general for their positions on Lucky here. This seems like a safe position, really, in the early part of the round. Skade also not aggressing forward. Heat can start to take birthday party control and Park and Fountain. The closest player is Rainwaker. Can he get anything out of the bathrooms?
But Lucky just knows, man advantage this soon into the round, they're going to start getting aggressive. They're going to make info plays. Rainwaker might have the shadow advantage to drop the bomb. No, it doesn't happen. Body wins out another fight.
All-important frag to start. Denny's AWP caught in the transition, and Jocko will get another frag now. 2 left standing for Skade. Heat with all 5 alive. Bodies tagged up, sure. And good fall to the Incendiary if he's not careful. He's going to get forced away by that Molotov. The counter smoke coming down from the CT line will try to block off Vision. To the back of the site. It's an engagement from Bubble as he tries to go aggressive. He ends up falling for it, and it's all on ships. They are playing to his position here in the bathrooms. There is that much, but 1 kill found, 3 more to go. 1 player right behind him, 3 more coming in total. 15 seconds. Maybe if he drops exercise, that could be the way in, but Afro with a slow walk out for the AWP. Keeps it alive again, 7 to the board, but it comes back to that age-old question, Dwayne, where is the follow-up?
Yes, Skade, it might be this one. Because you've got 2 players on double eco. Money's kind of wrecked. They've got 2 options. You either buy it down completely and go for something aggressive again, or you full eco and then maybe even half buy again. You're up 13-7. You've got so many rounds to work with. This could now be the control coming through from Heat.
Yeah, only ESP's out for the Skade side. Not even any major upgrade weapons or utility, and players on double eco status like Rainwaker, for example, could be a hindrance when it comes to the next round buy for Skade, but they should be able to get most of the rifles out for round 22.
No, I don't think they will, mate. I think you play it like this, if you've got so many rounds to work with, that you do something similar to what Heat was doing yesterday against ENCE, where you eco here, eco again, but half invest.
Heat will be familiar with that strategy. Again, they were able to pull it out and actually win the matchup overall because of that against ENCE. Nades up, Rainwaker caught first and foremost, though, and that's always going to be an easy fight for Jocko. Body, similar scenario towards Dreamer, 5-on-3, B-side taken.
Just desperate for a weapon. If they can get one of these AKs, that would be great. They probably won't hold on to it, though. Jocko on the other side, just making sure he's got eyes over that AK. All right, Bubble. I still don't know if he holds on to it, though.
It depends, really. Do Heat want to go hunt? Well, he's going to go hunting, it feels like. He'll grab that AK and finally fall back out towards bathrooms. Repeat towards connector. Lucky will go for the hunt. Could be awkward depending on Bubble's position. Whether he gets checked by the T-side player. Steps heard. Bubble sees him. Goes back in for more. Could catch AWP instead, actually. This could be really smart. Lucky thinks it's clear. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, Bubble. Is he going to go Afro? Oh, no! What is this? Now he's been seen. Now he can get the AWP. Finally. Took a while for Bubble, but he gets it in the end. Triple up for him. That's actually a pretty good eco for Skade.
Mate, that's a sick round. That really is. And they might buy off the back of it now. I didn't think they were going to buy. But now you've got a saved in AWP. You might just go for the full invest. Yep. And yeah, they are. Wow, what an eco.
It makes sense. It is a wonderful eco. You're right about that. It is the thing. I think with an AK, I don't think they're justified to buy as much. I thought they might go half-seas around it, but the fact he got that AWP out, honestly, what a sick play. And just, again, with USPs only. Yes, they have a limiting factor of Rainwaker still. He was on 1,400 in the last round. Yes, he's going to be on the FAMAS for this one, but the AWP out, Denny immediately aggressing into the top mid position. He's looking out towards T-Con, did not spot the player that crossed, will fall back for it.
Yeah, we saw it against Copenhagen Flames. Skade are a threat on the full eco rounds. We're not even talking about slight upgrades, but Glocks and USPs. They somehow managed to get damage and save a lot of weapons forward. This could be them in the driver's seat again to build up that momentum. And Heat are going to think to themselves, what's the money game looking like? They saved an AWP, probably up against a buy now.
No information's being given away by the Skade side, though. HEET are firing blindly through smoke, so of course Skade will be aware that they've got AKs out. Only aware of one player in Monster. Is that a misdirection play? Is the questions going through the Skade side? And their minds here just wondering whether or not there is more down that position for the HEET camp. It's mostly in mid, though. And Denny's going to find that out. Kill on body. Starts things off.
Oh, onto Afro too. That's the bomb getting dropped. Rainmaker aggressive. Needs to deal with Jocko next.
Flashbang turned away from Jocko, not aware of how close Rainwaker's gotten. And it's a 2K for him. Barely any damage done to the Skade side. And HEET, they need this round. They still need to try and pull it back somehow. Exercise next to face. Does get away with a decent kill towards Denny. Rainwaker wrapped in a pond, but as Lucky's fallen, it's all exercise to hold the quadra clutch. Grab that bomb. Try commit to the A site.
Get that bomb down and play it out from there. Full set of util. This is very doable. Doesn't know that Ships is at long, though. They're going to start crossing paths. He still doesn't know. Now the infos came through, and Dreamer's there on the backstab quickly. Up from the top of Con. 14 on the board, and they were desperate for a bomb plant, Jay. They really needed to get that bomb down.
The number of backs turned to each other in this matchup, that has been, I think, the ultimate lack of luck, really, for both sides. Unlucky positions and unlucky timing for both HEET and Skade. In the case of HEET, though, it will affect them most here for round 23. Galil's out, MAC-10, 2 pistols, no AKs. And Skade 2 away from the win. HEET need to find the steal.
Missed Molly for that aggressive short play. More util not landing there for the HEET side, and not wanting to play for OT and forcing it up. Could just be the B hit. Oh, there's 4 here, mate.
Yeah, they're so ready for this. They are so ready for this. HEET about to face the worst of the CT side. M4 in the bubble, and Dreamer gets 2. 5 versus 3. One of the Galils removed from play as well. An SMG dropping nades back on towards Lucky. So much damage done. Afro trying to play around outside. Does line up a double, but not quite a triple. Trades involved. Exercise gets involved, but can't hold off against Ships. Denny somehow survives by jumping in the middle of the air. And it's Lucky alone. 1v3. Gets the first, not the second, and certainly not the round.
We've got to give so much credit for the in-game leadership of Bubble. How many rounds in this second half we've seen Gamble stacks, or let's just say stacks, that HEET are running into? That one right there is such a momentum round. 14-8 up, you're up against a force spike. There's 4 on B! I mean, what a read that is for Skade!
Just to compare the numbers here on both sides, you see players, 2 of them on 21 frags for the Skade camp. HEET just not showing up. Not even getting close to those kind of numbers. On the individual basis, there's been an outclassing for the Skade side. Aggression coming in for them to try to close it out quickly right here around 24. Bubble and Rainwaker, finding those 2, falling back.
Oh, getting so much out of that, and you're right, falling back, just holding on. Denny's now hearing the footsteps. He knows there's someone in Bathroom's body. Gonna fall to the orb. Now it's just Lucky and Afro left.
Yeah, he had no idea. So tunnel vision to the center of the site. Couldn't check the off-site anchor. And that's the orb. Finding his picking around his contribution to what could be number 16 for Skade, or what's likely to be number 16 for Skade at this point. That bomb's rotating back to the B site, and there's a boost in play now for the CT forces. Afro will try counter it. He's got to check grill, check backside as well. So many angles to consider here. And Dreamer is just standing by, ready to receive them. Sees Afro, burst fire, gets out in the open, sees them both, lines them up, and knocks them down. Lucky gets away with 1 frag at the end of it, but it doesn't save the round itself for HEET. 16-8 for Skade, a dominating way to start themselves off in the grand finals.
Super impressed. Very good performance from Skade. First half, second half consistency. We saw the way that the kill distribution was clean too, and Skade, they look like the better team in this matchup already, and it's only map 1.
When it is their own map picks, there is that much to consider for the Skade side, but ultimately, you got to look at those numbers, Blake. You got to look at that confidence coming out from the Skade camp, and it was so much higher than anything that HEET brought to the table. Dust 2 coming up next as well, and the last time they played it between these 2 cores, it was won out by the Skade side, so time to be scared for the Frenchmen. They did pick into it, though. It's their chance to turn it around after the desk breaks it all down.
We finally get to see Skade play on Overpass. They take the victory on it as well, 16-8, and that also puts them at championship point against HEET. That was quite a show from them, and, you know, Skade Overpass just never seems to fail, you know.
Yeah, it's their go-to map pick. They had won it 5 times in a row. Now make it 6. And you just got to say that Bubble and the team came in with a perfect game plan on that T side. Just abusing the B side mostly. They're able to walk up there, get the punish picks when HEET goes for the information plays, and then they just execute onto the site. And I just want to say that the game plan was really perfect for Skade.
Yes, game plan very, very good. And apart from that, also, I felt like this was if yesterday we saw the individual skill peak from HEET, this time around it was kind of the opposite.
Yeah.
A lot of the individuals we saw yesterday having banging performances, just not able to deliver. I think of Dyoko and Exercise as an example, who were very pivotal yesterday in that game. Just most of the game nowhere to be seen.
There was a very clinical moment, the classic rush B, so to say, for Skade on Overpass. We want to take a look at that one, round 14, I think it was.
Yeah, sure. It was actually the only rush B, but at a perfect time, the perfect call. Skade had been playing a little bit more slowly in the starts of the rounds, but now they just rush B, and I love to see Bubble with this jump through the side. Here we go. Where is it? Bubble.
There we go.
I love that. Taking space, but they're able to close out the 2v2 in the end. But that always feels bad on the CT side on Overpass when you can't stop a simple-looking B rush play. Sure, it's a bit of a surprise, but still HEET kicking themselves after losing this one.
Yeah, and there were a couple of other B executes that also felt to me like Skade was having far too easy time to get into the bomb site. I remember one particular one where Bubble managed to get a double entry and almost a triple kill, going to the side with a couple of flashes flying in. Typically speaking, from a CT side, you know, you have mollies, you have counter flashes to kind of slow it down, but not which he managed to do in those situations.
Yeah. Skade in terms of numbers, seems like the whole team was on board on this one. Fracking power, a lot of damage being dealt, some good utility usage here and there. Not even too bad from their in-game leader, which, you know, he did have a pretty tough start to the game, but Bubble still looks like he was pretty well on the opening frags as well.
Yeah, I mean,
1-7-1, something like that.
Yeah, like I said, in those pushes, they put him as the front man to eat the bullets. Typically speaking, you might end up being the first one dying, but then you have a lot of skill behind you coming in to trade those skills.
Yeah, and as you said, even that double entry on one of those rounds, normally you're pretty happy if you go 1-for-1 as the front man going into that tough B side. So he definitely delivered, Bubble.
And in terms of the player cards as well, it's not a surprise. It is Dennis Law who. Very impactful frags over the board. Feels like the myth of is Dennis Law waking up to play. No, I feel like he's definitely ready to play. He's on a very good roll.
Oh, yeah. And when you think about Overpass, okay, the Opera gets these frags, but hold on. They started on the T side, and we didn't even get to see too much of the CT side, especially in terms of Dennis Law hopping. So he didn't have to even rely on his primary weapon, but especially on the attacking side, he was pretty much on fire alongside with Rainwaker.
Yeah, I'd love to see this bit boost here and getting that entry right there. That's a very good start as well. I actually kind of like to see that boost come out from time to time.
It's worked out for them. In the semis too, I think it worked out. And yeah, here too. Why not play around it since it worked?
Yeah, and as you can see, not one but two. Rainwaker also lifted up from Skade. You could say that they were somewhat similar in terms of numbers with Dennis Law in this one, and if you put both of these players on top of the pedestal, Skade's in for a pretty good day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in numbers wise, they were virtually the same.
So similar
for both of them. The difference basically is in ADR. That's about 1 ADR, the difference between the two. So not anything to really mention, honestly. But yeah, a great game from him.
Yeah. I can only wonder what's going to be coming out of this one, as HEET probably still needs to, get their troops, muster their troops, have a bit of a morale speech.
Maybe. I mean, this is the first example we see of HEET when the individuals aren't exactly popping off. As Napi apparently said that they were individual speaking on a great form yesterday, but now that not everyone is able to hit that A level, we already see that the bottom kind of falls off really quickly for HEET. So they gotta get their heads in the game in terms of fragging part too.
Yeah, it's like a not great, not terrible situation.
Yeah, and especially now when the series is turning into a very individual skill heavy map. Yes, one might argue the Dust 2 has changed a bit with the changes in terms of how it plays out, but still it is an individual skill based map in the big picture. And for sure, this is a new situation for them as well so far in this tournament, because they've been playing on like the topper level or higher level of their individual prowess, and now they had a slower one. So how can they bounce back from this?
True. That's a good question, actually. As is it going to be a make or break? Skade, one more victory, and they will be crowned champions again at the Elisa Invitational, but they have to take this map victory under their belts. Otherwise, HEET, gotta wake up now, gotta start doing some damage on the board, but we're gonna take a tiny break, and we'll start talking about Dust 2. To the grand finals of the Elisa Invitational Winter 2021 as we head over to the second map of this series with Skade leading 1-0 as we head over to Dust 2, gentlemen.
Indeed, we do. HEET, we saw previously playing against Hobble on this map, and a bit of a heartbreaking loss for them from their perspective. They had a massive lead that they let slip away. The last time we saw Skade play was against Eternal Fire. It was a W 16-13. But yeah, in the big picture, I do believe that this does favor HEET slightly coming into it. But that being said, so far, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we look at Skade winning this one, just because of the fact that Skade seems to be really on point today.
They are, and what I'm looking at are the T side round wins here. 28% for Skade. That's looking pretty rough for them. I mean, not the greatest for HEET either. And when you think about Dust 2 and starting on the T side, where you kind of felt like HEET didn't get things even going on Overpass. A few rounds here and there, but individually speaking, they weren't there. Things can start to look pretty nightmarish on the T side of Dust 2 really quickly. If you don't find success early on, it can feel pretty suffocating at worst. So a lot of pressure on the HEET side right now.
Yeah, definitely. Mathend was already jumping on the server and probably showing some flashes and smokes. What do you reckon? Are we going to see something special, something different, or the usual ones?
Dust 2, there's very little room for any more innovation than what's already been done in terms of like the latest innovation I've seen is basically all the pixel smokes we see with the AWP zooming into a specific spot, and then you can throw like the hinge smoke in the middle, for example. But apart from that, there's not really much.
Same old.
Yeah, I mean the map changed, of course, with the T-spawn not able to spot double doors anymore in a similar fashion. That made it easier for the CTs, which we see the shift has been going towards the CTs a bit more, aside with the meta in general being a bit more CT heavy. But yeah, aside from that, there hasn't been much innovation.
Yeah, sure. I think HEET has to get their standard stuff working, not doing anything too fancy right here. Not too many innovations for this grand final. But if we want to look at an upside for HEET, Skade, as I talked about, the T side is looking pretty horrible against Eternal Fire. They won, I think it was 5 rounds on the T side, and 3 came off the pistol win, and then a couple of rounds here and there. So I think HEET has definitely a good chance to break open this Dust 2 because Skade, it's not one of their best maps, really. Yeah,
for sure. One quick reminder of utility usage. We saw a pretty interesting flash, actually, on the T-side push on the upper tunnels. We were like, is this an intentional flash, or was that just a bit of a mistake? But we were like, oh, interesting, because it actually flashed the player inside the upper tunnels and executing onto B.
Yeah, probably a mistake. That one.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone remembers that even. Just you.
I got the worst stuff on my mind. Though, as you can see, only 40 seconds to go into our second map. Is it going to be a 2-0 potentially? Are we going to see Skade undefeated throughout this tournament? Looking pretty good so far. I kind of still want to root for HEET and, keep to my script about the potential reverse sweep, maybe C3 maps.
Yeah, I mean, I still believe HEET will take this one and take this third and reign supreme in the end. But again, I do see a world where Skade runs away with it. But in the HEET starting on the T side, we need to see them firing up and making plays, because so far in this game they haven't delivered.
Does Robo believe in a multiverse?
Sure, I actually do. But in terms of Dust 2 here, yeah, I think HEET has got a pretty good chance here, and I would bet on them right here, right now. We've only seen one off map for them here, and it was the first map of this final. Maybe they can get things going here again.
All right, well, we are ready to go for the second map of this series, potentially the last. Let's get over to the Eternal J and Dweg to take over the second map of this series.
Well, if it is the last, it will be an undefeated map run for Skade, going so far as 2-0 in their last 2 matches and a 2-0 potential right here on Dust 2. But I am kind of with Natu to a certain extent here. I do believe that they're going to hold this one on the HEET side. Yes, it didn't look that impressive, but being one of those better maps in the pool for the likes of Skade, I feel like Overpass was a formality. Now Dust 2 is where HEET can really turn up the heat, if you will say, as we look forward to our pistol round to see whether Skade can 2-0 their way out of the grand finals. Dweg, do you think it's going to be possible?
Mate, I'm seeing a 2-0 here. Just think back to that last game that we saw when Dust 2 was on against Eternal Fire. Yeah, okay, it was 16-13, but also keep in mind it was 13-5. They were very dominant from the start. They were able to get a lot of momentum, and if they can play like they did in the first map, they've definitely got a chance of taking Dust 2.
As I said, Heat will start things off over on the T side line. It's Denny going to challenge Body immediately in Suicide. He's aware of that aggressive play now for the CT forces. Yet to see that bomb, yet to see the rest of the Heat forces themselves. Up in the upper tunnels for 2 players and 3 players outside of top mid.
Skade were making some very good calls and stacks on that city side of the last map. I now look at this and think 2 players on B with a quick rotate to mid. Bubbles kind of got the idea that that bomb's going to shift over to a mid to B split.
Taps on from Dreamer, tagging Lucky down, face involved as Lucky gets away with the kill instead. Headshot landed. Denny now aware of the 3 players making their way in from the short control. They might have pulled them for a ruse. Only 1 man standing on the back of the A site. That's Rainwaker with 3 to find. Gets away again with tag damage, but Goosh to 52. Smokes up Bubble, finally gets a trade, but Body wraps around the corner and Rainwaker will drop, as will Body to trade towards Denny Store's position. It's Ships out towards mid, getting 1. Needs to get the second because Jocko's fallen now and Lucky's the last player standing. A 1v3. The A-side defensive is held, and Ships is ready in the corner, detected by Lucky still. 1 point of HP, finally fragged down, and Lucky looking for his angle to work with, looking for those headshots on Denny and Bubble. Aware of both players, both crossing to the back of the A-side. 40 seconds for this to come through.
They're just going to slow it down. They don't need a reface at all. They've got complete bomb control. Lucky's hoping for an overpeak, but look at Denny and Bubble. They're playing together on Ram.
They'll swing together as well. Lucky's got to land the perfect headshots at the perfect time. He'll start to creep forward. Out in the open. The CDs know they have to hold themselves. Headshot missed out by Lucky. Skade will continue momentum and take the pistol to open up map 2.
I can't believe that actually happened. Just think about that for a moment of Heat. They get a pick at B. They over-rotate pretty much everyone there from Skade except from that ramp player, Rainwaker. But it's Ships' play to realize that wrap that comes through. Afro coming out from the B doors gets dealt with. Lucky in from mid gets spotted. And without that play from Ships of gathering information and time stalling, I don't think that round is possible for Skade.
It's coming pretty good for them regardless, and that is the bottom line. Lucky, however, wants to get his shots in eventually. He didn't quite get the headshots of the USP in the last round. And that clutch scenario, in this one, he'll make it a triple in so far in this matchup. Getting the opening duel with the Deagle. Ships with a Falasto, comes up with 2 more out towards lower tunnels. Jocko there with a responsive, with Dreamer chiming in towards mid. It's a 3 versus 2 scenario, trying to make it 1. Getting tagged up again by the few weapons that they have for Heat. Can't quite capitalize upon that kill, though.
Yeah, we hate to see these kind of rounds where it's the full eco and there's a lot of damage being done. Skade do not want to reverse it of what happened in the first map and actually get it onto themselves. 2v3, the bomb getting dropped. Now things kind of get a little bit more awkward. Lucky's got to go back out to that mid control, look to continue fighting. There was a moment here where it really, eyes are up of how much more was going to get found, but nothing more. A couple of rounds in a row now for Skade. They'll be disappointed they lost a couple of players against those light pistols, though.
Well, 2-0 start for Skade. Heat looking for the guns out for round 3. We'll see 4 AKs coming in. Lucky should also follow suit with a 5th. Limited utility sets for the T-side players. That's fine. Looking towards the aim duels and the headshots as appropriate. 4 M4s out for the likes of Skade. A lot of damage taken in that previous round, so economical situation will be a bit of a rough spot here for the CT side. Jocko looking to be the first man out of the longhouse, flashed in by his teammates. Smoke's coming down. Counter flashes of the CT side will suppress Heat. Not try to drive them away, though. The blind fire still comes in.
Skade not keen on holding long control. You could just see the way they were playing back passive, put your nade in, fall back, get over to the bomb site, boost up on elevator, get Bubble and Denny to play the cross up here on A and keep focused down on that long control. Now this scout with the range on the angle could do a lot of damage, and while this play's coming through, notice what's happening in the tunnels. All the map control's getting taken by Skade.
And there's Afro falling into the hands of Bubble. Jocko there with a responsive to Denny in a 4 versus 4 situation. Leaning forward for Jocko, continuing to look around for the likes of Bubble and Rainwaker. Dreamer presses on towards the top of mid. They have got a late lurk in from Exercise up towards that B site, but if it rotation does get called, then Heat going to run straight into the CT side. They're going to press on towards the A side instead. That's the best play in Bubble. Want to take it away from them. 2 kills to his name as Lucky and Body fall a triple overall. And now Jocko pushed into a corner. Exercise's backstab's got to come in as the only player left standing out towards mid. And there's nothing really that he can do. This should be a 3-0 start for Skade.
Oh, what a hold from Bubble. Nice pap coming through from Exercise to turn it into a 1v2. Time is still on his side. He can win this.
Only 30 seconds, though. He's got to act pretty quick. 4K clutch for the man. In what would be a 1 versus 4 as well. Smokes onto the site. He's thinking about it. Second phase, the spray goes so well, but it's not enough for the kill. Ships remaining alive at 22 points of HP. With those two casualties there given up to Exercise's part, you would have thought that that clutch was on. Just, again, a little bit too little too late.
And look at the positioning, though, coming out for Bubble. The fact that he re-smokes down on the side of the Rab, puts that volley forward, and kind of gives himself a height advantage, too, by getting onto the rice bags. He ends up with a triple on the A side defensive, and then those backstab plays. Skade reading the game really well. These lurks are deadly. Look at what Dreamer was able to do in that last round.
Heat forced back to the pistols, very mirror image sort of scenario towards what we saw from that first map compared to the second. AK on Rainwaker being the best weapon in terms of the automatic weapons for Skade. AWP also have Denny. There's very little in terms of what Heat can do. Nothing that will match up to the rifles. Deagle's on 3 players, sure, but Nade's already doing damage to 2 of them.
Yeah, that's juicy. A lot of damage being done. And even 2 players in mid. We haven't seen this before from Skade. Heat thinking about just bombarding through from the mid portion. Oh, okay, that's a good shot onto Denny.
All right. Okay, sure. Jocko finding that first nade back, sprays through towards Lucky. Rainwaker gets away with 1 on towards Body, and Jocko forced to the trade back. A 4 versus 3. Bubble out of dodge here. M4 watching. Jocko gets caught. Lucky, similar scenario. The Dreamer comes up good against the man. It'll be a 3 versus 2. Skade, the lockout against the likes of Heat. Eventually overwhelm this T-side force and leave it all on Exercise again to clutch this. This time with the Deagle, but with no headshots.
I think when I was listening back to one of the post-game interviews with Bubble, he was talking about how Dust 2, they didn't play like they did on Fiend. Now, if we think back to when Bubble and Dreamer were playing on Fiend, Dust 2 was very retake heavy on City side, leaving a lot of nades in spawn, always getting that mass damage through. It feels as if here on Skade, it's more on the forward front, looking for fights and taking map control, rather than being on the back foot and being defensive.
Rifles back in for Heat here from round number 5. Oh, a close shot from Afro behind the smoke. It's Dreamer instead that comes up with 2 out towards the tunnels position. They've lined up for that M4. He's torn them all down. Easy pickings, it seems, for Skade.
Okay, so we're just kind of getting an idea. Is the AWP going to hit the shot through the smoke, and then Dreamer gets 3 out of the B side? Look at this off angle 2 from Bubble.
2 to line up. Lucky does check it and does get away with a casualty. Still a single man advantage for Skade, and they're whittling down on the HP numbers for Heat. Orpa now set for Denny out towards the A site elevator. Unknown, I think he's holding the angle here, and yeah, he is. Orp just so ready for Lucky to peek out. Is there a flashbang in? No, not from Afro. But the smoke's down instead of trying to cover off this Orp's position. Oh, they both go down to the same angle, though. Big gap to work with now. Backstabbing, bounce shot connects. Lucky falls. Afro now need to hit a quadra clutch in this one. We'll jump past the AWP, take a leg back for it, but ultimately nothing's going to lead to a clutch. A 5-0 start for Skade now. Heat looking so dire. Let's watch this this tunnels push in particular. I want to see what happened here from the T-side line. Just felt like they gave up the 1v1s. Yeah, no flashes going over. That was a disaster for Heat.
2 words that I think of, Jay. Rookie mistakes in that one there. First of all, you see the way spacing's not that great out to the B site. It's dry. There's a lack of util. The bomb wasn't even kind of with them. And then in that in play, how have you got 2 players at long playing together with the same smoke down in the same position?
I mean, you consider as well, we talk about rookie mistakes, think about all the missed utility we saw in that last map as well. We're just feeling like Heat in the server today. Not feeling like themselves. Flashes in, Jocko going to dive down into the tunnels, and they'll try play something with the Hero AK setup. But they need so much more than this. This is Skade on their best.
Yeah, it is. And it could be pressure, knowing you're in a grand final up against a Skade side where Bulgarians reign supreme in these kind of events. They always do well. A Heat with the hero rifles. We saw a couple of rounds like this yesterday in the semis against ENCE that worked out quite well. It was normally Body on the hero AK. Can they muster some level of success with that? Even with an entry out from mid, there's no CT to even take the fight.
Walking forward now. Smoke's thrown down as standard. No missed utility here. The boost box and the cross locked out. He will try press the issue. Ship sees Jocko, engages upon him. Jocko gets away with that one frag, but Dreamer makes it a triple once again on the backside here towards Carl. Lucky gets away with a pick out towards mid, almost gets the player up top mid as well, but unable to hold on to his lifeline. His exercise, M4 picked up, tapping the bomb once, trying to force out a kill against Denny. Seen that second player as well. Now has the info to play with. He's double dipping. He's going to go for the pick back. He spots Bubble, and the nade's coming in as well towards the man. Second phase tags him, and now has got to go for the plants.
Yeah, just get it down, set yourself up. Bubble's got a smoke and an incendiary to work with to try and force Exercise out into the open.
Flashbang from Exercise could try and suppress even further here. It depends on timing and where he places it. Bubble playing the mind games, trying to lull Exercise into the idea of rotations inbound. He's covered off both angles from a passive position of Car. It's where Dreamer held for his 3K. Can Exercise make it a 3K as well? He's playing forward for Bubble, head tucked away for Exercise. Keeping himself suppressed. Bubble caught looking the wrong way. It's the case of timing. Bombs ticking. Bubble's got the kit. Footstep heard. Molotov's in towards the wrong position. Tap on it. Stick to the fuse. Tap to the headshot. Exercise indeed will clutch it and bring in the first round for HEET.
That's exactly what they needed. They needed someone to step up and make a play, and Exercise is able to do that. Bubble just in that 1v1 with a teammate, expecting the fight to come to him. Dreamer does such a great job on that hold. For him to find a multi-kill like that from the car position, smoke goes down onto the bomb. Incendiary does not go out to that car position, and HEET find their first.
Great opener for the Frenchman at last. And that's crippled the economy state of Skade. I mean, these rounds have been close, but look at the aggression they're going to try and respond with. Bubble straight up from lower tunnels dealt with, as is Rainwaker. Nades back from Dreamer, at least can finish off Exercise, so it's a 2-for-1, but it favors the T-side this time.
I believe it was a 5-0 start when we saw that 1v1 coming through from Body out on Overpass to get a clutch forward to get the first. Very similar signs here on Dust 2. What a shot that is for Denny, but how does he get out of this one? Luckily enough, no one's watching top mid, so he can get back to safety.
Smokes down as well from Dreamer to suppress. Now Orpa bringing things back. Because HEET with the advantage initially. Kind of forced to fight on even footing again against Skade after they worked so hard to get that man advantage as well. Smokes inbound, Afro thinking of looking above the Xbox. Denny with the AWP on angle. Afro catching the angle himself, removing that AWP from play. So only one rifle remaining here for Skade.
Yeah, Ships has still got the play out from the longhouse. That could deal with the lurk, turn away for the flash, not get lucky. Now it falls down to Dreamer that peeks into the AWP. Afro around the Xbox was just kind of toying with them, just on the lip of that smoke to reface, and he capitalizes for it.
That's a second in a row for HEET. Skade still held their own, however, dishing out some decent damage, but only for Masters for the most part. The fast plays in towards tunnels almost worked out for them. But with that round falling apart as it did, with no rifles saved in, this should be a harsh eco from Skade, and indeed it is. USPs across the board. No Kevlar, no util, no nada here for Skade.
It feels like finally there's breathing room to work with for HEET, that now they can slow it down, play their own game style. What they don't know is Ships getting aggressive again in the lower tunnels. Unfortunately, it's just a USP.
Maybe they might not check this corner, or the flashbang indicating otherwise. Right in front of him, he turned away from it, and Jocko gets away with the kill, so yeah, they do check it. That was the only way in which things were going to turn up for him, but doesn't end up doing so here. 5-on-4, HEET have control.
We have seen some very deadly stuff with USPs in hands by Skade. So just keep it in mind, gamble stack on A. If HEET run into it, we could see some casualties.
Don't tempt fate, Dweg. Don't tempt fate. Flash is over, and Lucky will not be wasting any breathing room here. Just deal out all the damage to the CT players. Bubble in the midst of the smoke now. 1v5, A site's open. Not quite spotted just yet. Tagged up eventually by Lucky here. Now Bomb will force the issue, but will not get the kill for it. So nothing coming in from the USPs. All 5 alive for HEET. And now Skade focus on the rifle round.
And this is where they've got to start setting pace again. They're not going to be able to get an AWP out for Denny, so mainly M4s. Dream has been very impactful being that B anchor, so HEET probably just start to realize these last few rounds, let's put more presence onto taking some long control, more presence towards A in general, whether it be through mid or from the short side, because Dream is really the factor which is the highest positive for Skade, is how much impact he's finding at B.
Donnie straight out the gate. Flash is going over for him as well. I'm going to try and lean in with his teammates. Rainwaker caught as is Bubble, decimated by a single spray. A 5-on-3 already for HEET, and that's the entire A site opened up.
Yeah, it may have been a slow start from HEET, but now they're getting going. Beautiful spray transfer from Body out to the blue bin, using the util, and you could just see both sides, Skade and HEET, wanting to fight for that control. It goes the other way, and now for Skade, you just save. You gamble stack on B, hope that you can try and bait in that bomb to go over for a B contact or an ENCE. Overall, though, this round's pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even going to bother with the rotation, I don't think. Even if they try and get back to the center of mid and try and look towards the angle across towards spawn, it's unlikely they really commit towards a retake here. The only way the Skade can win this round is if HEET try to hit towards B and they hold a defensive line. But with the way things are forming up, it looks less than likely. Even Lucky's vacating the tunnels.
You work with your advantages. You got 2 picks long. 9 times out of 10, you're going to commit with the information you know already, rather than bringing the bomb and the rest of the players to the unknown. Getting Body down into the pit, checking out that car position, waiting for any overfaces. And Skade aren't on max round loss bonus, but with 3 rifles being saved in, if they can hold them on, still opens up the opportunity of force buying in the next rounds.
Second wave of smoke, some Molotovs thrown back here to try and bait in the Skade side. Just in case there's anybody out towards that spawn angle, which is the case of formalities here for HEET. Using a lot of utility to get here. Little do they know that they have the A site from the word go, and yeah, there will be no rotations from Skade. The economy's just not there. Save the weapons, 3 M4s into the next round. Force buy around it, what do you think?
Yeah, it's doable. And Skade, we always know Bulgarian CS, they don't mind a force up. I just think knowing you've got more utility, everyone with Kevlar and M4s, 2,900 loss bonus, Denny can drop an M4, or, I mean, any of the guys can drop 2 M4s and just go with that.
The money in reserve, of course, for Skade, so it will still be a hard buy back from them. From HEET, if they take even 1 rifle out of the play, that might be enough to throw the entire buy status off guard. Firing on towards ships, blinded from Body. Can't seem to find anybody here, so it looks like they will get away with all 3 rifles. Yeah, we should be seeing these main M4s coming out. We should be seeing the buyback here for Skade.
Yeah, HEET really starting to string some rounds together, showing some more confidence. That's that sequence again towards the blue bins. And actually, they go for the safer approach. Just buy it down lightly, get some extra util, some upgraded pistols, and look to really maybe get the AWP out going into the next round rather than just going 5 M4s.
Yeah, that's the thinking on the contrary. And it's just as viable for both strategies, I think. Probably more viable for this one, though. I mean, you look at what you mentioned, the AWP for the next round, extra firepower, full guns out, max loss bonus, everything going the way of Skade. So it's just a case of seeing what damage they can do with the M4s in this one. If they can steal the round, that would be fantastic. And ships looking to do just that, catching Afro off guard first. Shoulder peeking out, spray comes in, nades come down, Molotov forcing him out. Sees Body will challenge that player, almost win the fight, but couldn't quite connect the headshot. His teammate can connect some damage to a 22 HP scenario. Exercise chimes in with another good kill, though. And Dreamer with the backstab, you're right. Exercise and Jocko have no idea, this is perfect. He waits, he capitalizes on 1, only bringing in the 3v3, though.
Seeing the shadow, Brainwave can get aggressive. He can now get up towards top mid. It's all about slowing the mid players down now.
Rainwake with his own counter backstab as all the attention is drawn up towards the mid doors. Bubble is dealt with by Lucky, though, and the 5-7 spots them. Jocko caught, taps forward. Lucky still holds on to the trades, and all these flank plays, all the potential from Skade is still countered by HEET here. A 1v1 is brought back by Dreamer, though. He still has a chance against Lucky.
If there's anyone you want in the clutch, it's probably someone like Dreamer. Actually going to go for the big wrap. He's going out towards long.
And Lucky's planning for long as well, indicating he wants to go back here. Dreamer with the M4, back to catch him in the open. The smoke's down, the M4 sees the man and sprays through to make it a 3K, and still clutched the round for Skade. Didn't need to buy into the rifles. The 3 that he saved was more than enough.
The clutching ability. You have to just hammer it home. Once again here from Skade, how on point it is. Anytime we see Dreamer, Rainwaker in those 1vx's, even the 2vx's, and the info plays. Dreamer there with the trigger discipline. Yes, it didn't mount up to all of the kills immediately, but Rainwaker coming into the backstab. And notice here for Body, he falls off the Xbox, and that gets heard. Straight away, he knows. Left corner of the doors, I've got this kill. No worries, 1v1, wins it out. That gets Skade up to 6.
HEET can at least buy it back. They got money in the savings with that bomb plant bonus as well. So AKs and the AWP come back in immediately for the T-side line, but now they've got to deal with even more firepower from Skade. It was still 2 pistols in that previous round. Now an AK and full sets of M4s and AWP. Default set in towards upper tunnels initially. Is this going to be a fast execution?
Running into Dreamer again. He's the B player. Missed Xbox smoke coming through from the T's. It will allow Body to start working and mimicking some A presence, but the rest of the players are looking to commit to B.
Exactly with the opening pick on Dreamer back a plat. Ships putting the smoke down to suppress them and firing through. Blinded. Only player on the B site. If they hit this site, it'll be a case of how long he can hold for. And his teammates will try to rotate in to set up a 2-2 split. AWP of Denny set towards the A site. That bomb is yet to commit.
Yeah, Bubbles got aggressive in Longhouse. So there's another play that can come through with a wrap towards top mid. Denny's really got to try and stay alive, and Bubbles actually going to try and help out his teammate rather than aggressing, coming back to A.
Yeah, he knows if he goes for the backstab, it's got to work out. But if he's caught in the execution, if he goes through the short control, if they try and overwhelm Denny, then he's not going to last long. So they need that backup here. He lands the shot towards Body. At least that's a start. The hit comes out to a 4 versus 4, but Jocko gets the man advantage right back. The AK of Bubble somehow escapes with Lucky's life, but Jocko with a responsive maintains the 3-on-2 as the bomb goes down for sure.
This round looks pretty much over from Heat. Late lurk into the lower tunnels. Man advantage. Very difficult round for Skade to win.
Backstab from Exercise is caught off guard by Ships as he sprays manically, gets away with the AK, but tanking a lot of damage here. Brings in the 2 versus 2. They are going to go for this, yeah. Set up towards Long. Now from CT spawn for Rainwaker. They've got only a flash and a Molotov for Ships. Leaning in, all the taps. All Ships is caught off Afro. It's all left to Jocko now. Time's running short here. They both have kits. The AK spray taps manically.
Nice.
Oh, they've won it. What a retake that is. It's just about enough time for Rainwaker, I think. Indeed it is. Wow, that is unbelievable for Skade.
How have they done that again? That round looks so over. And even Exercise, I think he may have had his mouse wheel up or down there in that fight, jumping as he takes the engagement onto Ships. And then the late wraparound play comes through from Long. Afro, because the time has ticked for so long with the bomb plant and there's been no Long presence, he just focuses down towards CT spawn, gets caught off guard. The kill comes in instantly from Rainwaker. He's got the kick, gets back onto the bomb. And Skade win another round somehow that they shouldn't.
All those small mistakes. You brought it up with the utility over an Overpass. You brought it up in the 5-round win streak that Skade got to open up the map. I think that whole round is characterized by that for HEET. Tactical taken by Skade. I think the Frenchmen need one right now, honestly.
And they dealt with a big man. Think about Afro getting that pick towards Dreamer at the back of plat on B. That was already the main element in that round being taken away. Skade getting the retake on. This has got to be frustrating for HEET.
And they mentioned on the desk they need to see a good T-side out of HEET. They need to see a good start in this matchup to see if they can maintain themselves in the series. That's not happening right now. Skade are in control. HEET at least got the weapons back for round 12. That bomb plant bonus aids them. But they need rounds more than anything else. They're down by 3.
And no cat contact has really been coming through for the majority of this first half. We've always seen Denny playing out to mid or long rather than aggressive up onto the corner. It might be a retake heavy setup towards A just because no one's even on ramp.
The smoke's set up. On towards spawn, on towards short. The flash is going over. Denny with the AWP. In above said Smokes and trying to hunt for kills, turned away from. Smokes back to counteract and try by a bit of cover here for the CT side. Of Molotov's coming down. Bubble trying to arrest alongside the incendiaries coming in from his teammates. They've suppressed the bomb plant positions. Jocko's still going to burn as he tries to aggress in against the CT line. Afro's orb still not connecting. Desperate to find anything he can in Ships with the opening kill of the roundup. Finally a trade back for Afro as Lucky follows suit as well. Needs to double up against Bubble who's bursting desperately with that M4. Neither player can catch each other. It's a man advantage for HEET for now, but they're locked in stalemate. They're locked in a standoff here towards short. Afro and Jocko now tagged extremely low. These are easy pickings for the CTs. The bomb's trying to rotate out of dodge.
Oh, Rainwaker knows, though. He's hearing these footsteps. He's the one in spawn. He's going to start getting that information that they're starting to shift over, and they know that Jocko's in the corner.
They're tapping on. He's not dead yet, though, and they're going to start to leave it. They're going to start the rotations back in. Rainwaker at the B doors. The act on Exercise drops that bomb. 3v2 now. Pick back up, committed to sight by Lucky, who gets the trade back. Jocko's also fallen. So, easy pickings. A 2-on-2 situation. Bomb going down. The orb strikes, but misses for Afro. So now he's low HP, pushed back to passive positions. Lucky's got to do the heavy lifting now. Center of the site. 75 HP. Another with 44 HP to his own name. Cannot win one engagement. It's now to Denny Slaw as the clutcher for Skade. Orb out towards lower tunnels. No kit in play. And I think he wants to save.
Yeah, the issue is the loss bonus here. 1,900, not a lot of money into the reserve. You don't have the confidence in that 1v2 to go for it. It's way too risky. And for HEET, that was very stagnated. We saw the way they got caught up in get right, down on elbow, on the short side. They're not able to get the bomb down because there's just so many mollies. They think about that wrap play. Unfortunately for Rainwaker, you can see what he's trying to achieve out from the doors. He wants to take as many fights as possible because if he drops that bomb, that round is over. As soon as Lucky falls, it doesn't quite happen. Bubble's not able to get the right read. And for HEET, they trade out pretty well. They get the bomb plan and make sure a 5th round comes in.
2 to the difference. Skade trying to force the issue back here. The AWP on Denny seems to maintain itself. He's leading in terms of opening frags, in terms of the win percentage. 4 spies involved. That ship's Mag 7 you mentioned before so many times in the past because he's characterized his like little niche around this weapon.
Yeah.
And in a close quarters combat, he could easily win out this particular round. It's Denny that strikes first, though. Gets another opening jewel to his tally.
Yeah, we really haven't seen much swag 7ing coming through from ships over the course of this playoffs. It's normally been Bubble out of anyone that's picked it up. But in this sort of position, when we know how many times that ships has got aggressive in the lower tunnels, that's the best weapon to play there.
Shots ringing in from body. Out towards that mid control. And it's ships with the Mag 7 to find. Here we go. Time for the meme dream. Could line him up. Buckshot to the first, not quite the second. Jocko quick to respond, but it maintains the advantage for Skade here.
Oh, look at Bubble. He's going to have the sight advantage, the shadow advantage too. This Deagle, just a 1-for-1. That's all that's required. It doesn't quite happen. A lot of damage done.
The AWP still misses as well for Denny. He's forced back passive. Jump round the corner. Great flash, but it comes in a little bit late. Rainwaker's there to bail out body. And now leave it all on Jocko. 1v3. The bomb in CT control. 40 seconds to fight back for it. The round is lost.
Yeah, pretty much. Jocko's got to try and dive down here. Look at Denny in the pit. How do you even deal with this position? Jiggling through, Dreamer's there. And one aspect of the game plan we looked at yesterday against ENCE for HEET is team play, trading so good. Take a note of that round for Skade. The way that Denny is getting pressured out from long. Who's there to assist? It's Rainwaker. Okay, the round now goes on for another 5-10 seconds. Who's there to assist? It's Dreamer. Everyone peeking on each other. Very well here for Skade.
And with the half being lost, HEET finally call their first tactical at Dust 2. Man alive, they needed this so much more long ago for me. Like, they needed so much more. Could be looking at another 10-5 half in the worst case scenario for the Frenchmen, and we saw how that worked out for them on Overpass. What is the counterplay, Dwayne? Who do we look at on this side to bring them out of this pit, essentially?
Yeah, it could just be a fast long spawn, like with Afro, having the AWP. If he can get set up, if they can get him some flashes over, try and get some more involved. When we think about Dust 2, typically, it's him that we look at. 1.21 average rating on 8 maps played in the last 3 months. Exercise is another one. He's been quiet. Only 7 kills so far for him.
Boost up, AWP. Engagement goes the way of Denny. He's been so consistent with his mid picks. Afro down immediately, and HEET just can't catch a break here. Lucky trying to work out towards Longhouse, seeing one player up, puts that incendiary down, takes absolutely no damage, ready for the offsite, and Rainwaker there for the 1-for-1.
Yeah, Bubble knows he has to fight there. He does not have the time applicable to start falling back, and Dreamer's seen the lurk coming out to the B side, waiting for a teammate, waiting for the time to strike. Oh, the burst coming through, but Exercise still wins out the fight. The trade is there, and now Body's the last one.
With Denny finding a kill back on Jocko towards that long position, it's all left to Body. Bombs on his back at least, but an AWP in his hand to try and clutch a 1v3 to take that A site on his lonesome. He does find his way towards CTC, Denny, but just doesn't pull the trigger. Couldn't find the angle, couldn't find the pixel he needed to get the kill shot. And it's 9 now for Skade. HEET are in deep trouble.
We saw a fantastic performance from Denny against Copenhagen Flames in that semi-final. 57 kills, 35 deaths, 92 ADR. And out of all of those picks, only 17 were with the AWP. A lot of which were with the AK, the M4, right here on Dust 2. It feels like the majority of his kills are with the AWP.
The entry picks definitely have come through with that AWP out. In towards mid, time and time again. Mentioned that stat earlier, 76.2% success rate in the opening duels for him. Set towards mid as the T's want to play towards that B site, forcing the issue with the Eagles and Tech 9s and P250s. The M4s can mow them down. That's what Dreamer will do first and foremost. Get a double up easy. Nades for the back of the site should catch body for damage. Quite a lot of it as well. Follow-up nades, not quite as effective here for the T side line. The HE is inbound from ships to the incendiaries to combine. They have the site, but the backstab's inbound as smoke starts to clear. Jocko caught off next. Afro taking some damage in the exchange. Forced around the corner for Rainwaker, gets his second kill, trying to transfer to the triple, and that's exactly what he gets out of this to close out a stellar round, a stellar half from Skade. 10-5 at the half. Once again, this could be a simple affair for a 2-0 victory.
And I think to really dumb it down and to put it in a simple argument, if we compare both teams, Jay, I look at Skade, fearless, right? All of their play style, pacey, full of confidence. I look at the side of HEET and it's nerves. It's mistakes that maybe they weren't making in the last couple of rounds, but are making here in the grand finals. And Skade are punishing on that. Double digits in the first half, another 10-5. This is looking so promising for them.
And so we're talking about how they looked like the better team in yesterday's semi-finals here. The desk was saying they had so much faith in the likes of HEET. But look at the numbers on that board. Only really Lucky showing up. His teammates down a single digit still. Maybe the CG side is their better half. The core bet odds have a little bit of faith in them, but still have Skade as map 2 favorites. Pistol round now for round 16, and if Skade win this, they set themselves up wonderfully to take this over. It's a B default from Skade. One more player to join them from mid.
36.1% round win percentage on T side for Skade in the last 3 months. If they can get off to a good start, though, I don't know how much that will matter because confidence will be there, and so is momentum, and this is just lining up for a B play. Jocko's going to get the info.
They have the 2 smokes down for Bubble and Rainwaker. I imagine that B doors and window will be the set piece. Actually, one out towards the tunnels instead. The B-door smoke will come in. Second player to join him, and taps from Jocko. Can line up some damage, still not get the kills. Finally, ships will fall. Bubble's already been tagged down early. Molotov's in, body gets involved, drops that bomb for a double up. And finally, some confidence looks to go the way of HEET. Look for this one all series long so far, but in the second half of Dust 2, it's a perfect pistol to kick things off.
Yeah, Jocko didn't fall like very quickly towards the back of plat, and look at how quickly the rotations are there. Body's playing out from the back of default. You've already got a car player too on the cross, and it just showed how quickly the protocol was there to start helping out at B, to start bringing players over. Skade struggling with the trades, not able to get the bomb down at all. HEET find their 6th, and now they can start getting kickstarted in the second half.
Straight eco for Skade, no bomb plant, no buy. Characteristic to what HEET were doing on their T side half in the last map. So there's Glocks can find any sort of damage here. Bomb plant would be nice if they can get towards that B site.
Draymond's just trying to toy with them, bait as much as that util. Hope that one of the CTs just over-aggresses, but really with these Glocks, you can't have as much expectation at all. 1 kill, if any.
Jump race continues from Dreamy. The SMG finally catches him. Doesn't get the frag for it, but 34 HP for the man. Now the M4's in mid, can strike Body and Lucky. Lining up the crossfire, dropping that bomb. And yeah, this one falls apart now for the Skade side. Again, simple eco coming through. Good shooting from Lucky with a USP, a triple for him. And now comes the real task for Skade, for HEET. It will be guns out. Bonus round can be played up. The AK is brought down by the T side. The Frenchman could win so much if they take this.
Skade did struggle with the majority of T-side rounds on Dust 2 when they played Eternal Fire, going 10-5 at the half, winning Pistol, getting off to a good start, getting 13-5 up, and ending up finishing the map at 16-13. A lot of flashes to go out towards that long challenge. They want to fight for this.
Denny and Dreamer, first 3 players out of the long house, and HEET just going to back off immediately, seeing the flashbangs as boats come in. Denny can aggress and look down the long position here from Pit. Just spray through, reveal his position, and try drive the CTs away from Blind. Scout now leaning forward from Afro. He doesn't see anything yet.
You've got to imagine this is just a simple long take. Cross smokes to go down, allow themselves to get the map presence, and just destroy any overpeaks. Afro's got to be careful of how wide he swings this angle.
Then he's just waiting. Exercise. Plays out on the short position, trying to hunt for the likes of ships who will be playing late round. That's what this position's for. Just wait and cut off rotations as the main T side forces act smoked onto that long position. The scouts seeing several, but just can't seem to line up a decent shot here. Finally, a collateral tag on Bubble and Rainwaker, but they get the kill for it.
They've still got Shibs as that lurking from mid. He's going to try and cut the rotates if any of them go aggressive in the doors to get up onto the short side. Is it still all the information that it's a long take? Yeah, they saw a few players, but they didn't see everybody.
I think they saw 3, so they can probably get an indication that it's been telegraphed here by Skade. Leave that one player's insurance policy for Jocko just in case. But 3 to hold down the A site. It is the right call for HEET. 30 seconds to go for the execution, and Skade are being suppressed here.
There's so much counter utility. Entries are going to be everything. Body getting boosted.
Lucky gets away with a kill for it. Buddy can double up. Ships down to act towards shore. Needs to find his flanking and does maintain a 3 versus 2. Lucky now surrounded by players. Transfers the spray, doing damage to the second man. And the SMG is all that's left. But 10 seconds. The flash is coming over. If he gets another bomb plant, that could be enough. But then he plants save, so it's Jocko now to clutch it with an MP9 in hand. To swap out to the M4. Make his way quickly out towards Ram. 2 players to get. They could line up for him, but no. Denny with the execution shot makes it a double. And Skade find 11.
They just kept their calm. Honestly, that was a very difficult position to be in for Skade. You're going for a walk contact long with the cross smokes, and you're just getting flashed, and flashed. And they slow it down, they don't panic, and Ships is the one that bails them out. He's the one that's coming up onto the short side. No one's watching for it. They don't have a short player at all. Instead, everyone's onto the bomb side, and that's the relief factor. Knowing that Ships is there to find the impact, to get the bomb down safe rather than out to the open, and peek together. Look at the way they played that 2v1. They didn't fight individually.
That round coming in so close for HEET, dishing out the damage to the Skade side. It's going to limit the economy state for them. It was a bonus round from the CT side. Of course, they still had SMGs and FAMASs. The money's still not there for a full-on investment. They're considering the force buy with his tactical pause, but I think they're just going to go upgrade pistols here. This will once again put a 5-round lead on the board for Skade.
It's not
in the
long room.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's like it's so close towards the end of the map up now and the series. Yeah. HEET, if they're going to do this, they'll take the sacrifice. They need to win every round off the back of that, it feels like.
Yeah, you're probably on the money there, especially with those rifle rounds. You can't really give too much more breathing room. And even on the B commit, Jocko's the only player.
Deagle forced away, trying to put some smokes out. Denny with a Mac 10 frag. Good frag for Jocko at least. Only gets so much for it. 2-for-1 trade. Denny's covering off the rotations from lower tunnels. The bomb will go down. The retake, it's less than likely it comes through with 2 USPs and a Deagle. Maybe the Deagle could finalize the Denny, but he gets away with a $600 frag. Not quite farming up the 1200, but Exercise can't really do much for the Mac 10 himself. He'll try and do something, but ultimately this should be around for Skade. Vacating that B site here. Exercise of the smoke, and Body's leaning in for it. I mean, the problem is the lack of cover here. If he had a smoke and to go for the Ninja, then fair enough, but even he's not committing towards the site itself. Exercise call off towards spawn. There's nothing left in this round here. Skade will take 12.
Yeah, more to the tally. And just to put some perspective up onto the matter too, I mean, Body's obviously just trying to see if he could find the late exit, anyone out towards that car position. Not going to happen at all. Since the roster changes that Skade have made, they won ECA Advance, coming through from the playoffs, beating only one top 30 team. Everybody else was outside of that. They won a local A1 Gaming League Season 5 event against Bulgarian teams, and nothing else. So to think that they could come here, beat Eternal Fire, beat Copenhagen Flames without even dropping a map, this would really sing the praises for the recent roster changes.
You got to take a look at the other tournaments they're competing in as well. Like, they went dominating in the Thunderpick Bitcoin series, for example. Like, their Swiss stage was perfect. So it's showing potential here and there. It's a case that, you know, just a couple of awkward series in tough tournament brackets like Malta Vibes, like Top 8 of Pinnacle. All those like little bits and pieces, like those are the where we're seeing Skade sort of stumble and fall, and it's one of those like it's the context looks like it's not that great for Skade, whereas in reality, one good run is all they need, a couple of good draws and matches, and they find themselves up 5 rounds in the second map, being up by a map already in the grand finals of the Elisa Invitational. HEET have the buyback though. This is their chance to deny it. And like we said before, with that eco being taken, every round from here needs to be at least decency from the HEET side. The Orcs leaning in. Denny flick does not connect it. He's aware of that player though. Trying to try and hunt for him later.
Hey, get that flash over. They're going to send it. They're going to run into the bomb site. Not even getting the smoke down for the cross.
There's Lucky with the opening kill bubble there to train him right back. 4 versus 4 is extremely low. Afro center of the side with the AWP out. Dreamer, meanwhile, strikes in from short. Exercise drops. Afro tagged, but Ships goes down. Dreamer able to respond. A 3 versus 2. The Molotovs suppressing body from here. The smokes inbound. A backstab from Jocko. Probably catches the likes of Dreamer here, but the AK adjusts for it. A triple for the man. Now body alone. Jump facing. Aware of the orb. Burning to 52. Needs to find this frag, and Denny says no. Skade confidently take the site and take their 13th.
They've got the X factor. Just look at that round by Dreamer. The long players are struggling. They're having a tough time getting into the bomb site, and Dreamer gets 3. He gets a double entry down there on short, even turns around for the next player. That is a massive sequence from him, and it's typical Dreamer. We know what he can do in these high-pressure situations. Show up, 22 kills and 11 deaths.
We talk about Elisa Magic quite a lot here, Dweg, and you can argue with the last 3 grand finals being Bulgarian grand finals, 2 of which were championship wins for Bulgaria as well. Skade, history might not matter right now. Eco inbound from HEET. Of course, 3 players just mopped up by Dreamer out towards that longhouse position. It's easy pickings for him, no Kevlar. Nothing in terms of firepower for HEET. They've got the Eagle for Lucky that might be able to catch off Ships, but even he says no. All 5 alive for Skade, 14-7. HEET looking towards this next buy, but it's got to be do or die. 7 to make up, 2 for Skade to win it all. And a tactical pause is called.
They need a miracle. They really do. They need that X factor, and that's something that we haven't seen from HEET. Those moments, those chances of making something happen. Down here, 7-14 on Dust2 on your map pick, losing the last 4 rounds in a row. They need someone to show up, someone to make a big play, someone to really turn this entire game on its head, because Skade are in full control.
Who's that player, though? Lucky, obviously, has been fragged out manically. 22 frags. That's not enough, though. Exercise trailing behind. Jocko and Body on similar numbers. Afro still on single digits. Who is that player, Dweg?
It's got to be Afro. He's the one with the big green. He's the one with the most investment. He's got to get an opening man advantage. That's what they've been struggling with in this second half, getting 5-on-4s.
And it's funny as well, because you say that, you go straight out to Longhouse where there's no T-side presence at all. Orp in on the boost spot, looking down from Suicide onto the mid control. His 3 teammates in the upper tunnels. Skade set their defaults. Throw some utility out, but other than that, it's quiet.
Hey, this is a good read, though, from HEET. Those flashes have come over, but Afro's aggressed forward, so they know it's a fake with the util towards Longhouse. They haven't taken it at all. And if Rainwaker wants to try and fight this AWP, he needs to jiggle.
AK just watching ahead of Car, the Orp of Afro. Just holds his nerve. He's desperate for a pick, and he might not even get offered it. Skade can also pull distraction, go for the hit out from short, draw that Orpa back. That's when Rainwaker can strike with a backstab. So much potential in this round for the T side.
Now, who's going to make the mistake first is really what it comes down to here at Long. Molly comes through. It seems like the read is even here now for Skade, that because we haven't taken Longhouse, they might be aggressive. Oh, this might be a short fake into a mid to B. The bomb's still here on Ships.
Now behind Xbox, Bubble establishes himself. Smokes down from HEET will suppress. Molotov's also inbound as well. Smokes will go out from the T side. And now the util comes in for the mid to B play. 2 on the side to hold down. Lucky and Jocko. Body blind spraying, doing some damage to 2 players. Lucky desperately looking for Dreamer, ready to swing out alongside Jocko here ahead of the car position. There comes a kill. Trade back into immediate for Bubble. Lucky drops the bomb outside the site, though. That's the important frag. Needs to double up, but Bubble gets it right back. And Denny's Orb caught off by Afro in mid. Blind sprays from Afro. Can't quite hold on to Bubble here. The bomb will go down, but it's a 3v2 retake with HP advantage for HEET.
Bubble's got a smoke down to the 2 veterans. Low HP, 2v3. This is still doable.
Need those headshots, though. The nades coming in, not landing towards those players. That could have been enough to deal with Bubble if it had landed correctly. As it stands, though, last piece of util utilized by HEET, wasted by HEET. The sprays from Afro. Dreamer just ducks out of the way. Time is ticking away. They have no kits. They can stall for time. The spray is good for Dreamer. It's not good for Bubble, though. And that will be enough for HEET to maintain a lifeline here on Dust2.
Skade needed to find more in that post plant. They needed to time stall further, or at least get some picks between them. It was only Dreamer towards Car. We saw how strong HEET were on the retakes. When we think about map 1, that is a very important retake going into map 2 when it matters the most. Jocko out from the car. The bomb gets dropped so early. That's what makes it so difficult. Lucky was even blinded in that engagement.
The HP ultimately becoming the decisive factor there for the HEET camp. Guns in for both sides. HEET took a lot of damage there, down to an SMG for body. Of course, Skade would have enough to ride back with the bomb plant bonus and savings in their bank accounts. Rainwaker immediately out of the gate, shut down by body. Flashbang keeps both him and Denny blind, but Denny comes up better for it with the AK out. Exercise needs to find that trade, that's what he does. Spotting Dreamer, forcing him back into Longhouse. A 2-for-1 with nades down for damage. It's HEET that hold control.
Denny just getting lost there. In with the smoke, so many flashes, just can't see a thing. And now they slow it down. They put some presence out towards this B side, get a smoke down. They need a fight onto Lucky and CT.
Question at the CT spawn. Lucky's going to try push ahead of it regardless. There are no T-side players up here. Jocko making noise, putting nades down, doing minimal damage with the solo holder, and he falls effective. Ships instant kill. The Orb of Dreamer catches Lucky on rotate, and just like that, Skade are back in control.
HEET have got to go for this. There's no way they can save, surely. 2v3. I think they might do. They're so far away from the bomb site, Jay.
And the economy is in ruin as well. They'll have to force buy around these 2 rifles if they do save it. Exercise is playing up towards tunnels, though, indicating he wants to try set something up. Afro is watching in from the doorways. And Exercise falls to the hands of Dreamer. Now Afro's got no choice. Hold on to the Orb. Give up map, match, and tournament point now to the Bulgarians. Skade, 1 away from taking their, as an organization, their second title. A 3rd title for Bulgaria overall, though, with the Fiend players in mind. 7 to overtime for HEET. This is worst case scenario.
It absolutely is. And even cast your mind back to the Invitational that they won back in spring. It was a 2-0. Can they 2-0 again? And try and replicate map 1 scoreline. 16-8 and 16-8 is possible. What an entry that is for Ships. But it's this kill from Dreamer that sets it all up. What an MVP performance we're seeing from him. Not only on Dust 2, not only on map 1, but this entire playoff bracket.
Look at the buyback for HEET. The Orb saved. 3 SMGs and a Famasto. It's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult. At least they've started well against Ships, who frags back, or at least tags back on Exercise, looking for that kill, but it's HEET that open up the round.
Yeah, trying to get out towards that blue pin position. Had a chance of winning that first fight onto Exercise. Bubble can't commit. He's the one with the bomb. So now they start bringing some pace down towards the mid doors.
Now hard rotate back with smokes on Dreamer in the tunnels. Will try and lean into that B site. They've got Jocko and Lucky. 2 more SMGs to hold off the defensive line. Rotations will be slow as well from the CTs. 1:10. And they form up together, they'll go together, they will execute as a unit, and HEET have got to hold off against them. SMG up close for Jocko, holds on to 1 frag, can't hold on to 2. Forced away with 2 trades, it's 3v3. HEET have got to go for this, and again, Denny's in mid. Takov rotates back from the CT side, Body's got to check it, and the Orc lands his frag.
Oh, this is it, surely. Smoke off the doors. The backstab still coming through. They've got to clear out this position in mid. Denny with the NWP is just time stalling at this point. Jumping up, Afro getting the fight.
And Exercise coming in from tunnels now. Both players on the site. 1 car, 1 site itself. Smokes in from Afro, switching out to the AK. Needing this firepower, Exercise leans in, spots Rainwaker, does damage, but doesn't get away with the kill. It's all Afro now. Dreamer a car, taps up against him, ahead of the smoke. Afro tagged to 19 HP, needs to win these fights desperately. Molotov's in on the bomb position, and it's Dreamer to close it down. 16 to 8 at 2-0, dominating grand final for Skade, as it will be 3 Bulgarian titles in the Elisa Invitational.
That is incredible. To think the way that they beat Eternal Fire, Copenhagen Flames, and this felt like the easiest series for them yet. What a showing coming out from Skade. 30 kills and 12 deaths for Dreamer in the end there at Dust 2. A well-earned victory. They showed us the talent, and they proved it on the server.
History be damned. Elisa Magic most certainly is in the server today as Skade take over the series. And their results in previous don't indicate they should have even gotten close to this grand final position, but they did it. They take their first A-tier championship in the last 3 months. And again, their second title overall in the Elisa Invitational. Your champions of winter are Skade.
Is going to be the champions here at the Elisa Invitational Winter 2021, and it's their second championship and their third title for the Bulgarians as a whole, as we remember Fiend taking it last time. Man, what a run. Just Skade just keeps on doing it time after time again.
Yeah, cool to see, and in such a convincing way as well. 16-8 two times in that series, a 2-0 game. Overpass, you thought, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a bit of a trademark map for Skade, but Dust 2, we were not so convinced. But hey, I guess we should be now.
Yeah, Skade left. Nothing to be imagined here. They just brought it on the server today, and especially these Dust 2 win really convinced probably everyone, their fans, the viewers at home, me here on the desk. Very, very impressed by the way they were able to close this out. The star players came alive. Dreamer with an amazing Dust 2, and Dennis Law an amazing tournament overall, and Bubble.
And undefeated as well.
And Bubble with a great in-game leading performance here. So yeah, overall, just a great performance by Skade.
Yeah, it kind of feels weird to start wrapping up replay analysis as well, because everything was looking really good for Skade. They were very, they were on top of their game. They were good with reactions. They had some good trading potential, and it feels like they were always one, or maybe even two, maybe even 3 steps ahead of HEET from time to time.
Sure. This is one good example that kind of was the show of things to come. A 2 versus 3 win on the retake for Skade. And looking at the scoreline, 6-4. This is at the point where HEET are starting to come back. They're starting to come alive. And when they get the bomb down in a 3v2, that should be over. Then an unfortunate 1v1 here that Ships ends up winning. He goes to long. This is very decisive action from Ships, and he's going to take the first control. He goes mega wide, just holds down that D, gets the first kill, and then they are able to close this post plant situation down. And yeah, this is one that HEET can't be very happy with this round, especially.
Yeah, tough for Djoko there in the end. Yeah, it does see both of the two coming in, but all at the same time, so it's not fast enough to react and get the kill. But in the big picture, especially in that CT half from HEET, I was a little disappointed with their lack of taking initiative. We saw most of the CT half, they were playing pretty passively and long. They would go there, throw the incendiaries and kind of show presence, but they wouldn't stay there to fight. They would fall back and play passively on A. And then I was looking at the minimap and just hoping for something, some proactiveness on the map, you know, maybe try to take tons control, maybe try to go in middle, take some information of what's going on so you can then over-rotate a bomb site or make life, if it's a fake, then you have that information early enough, right? But none of which we really saw from them.
Yeah, and overall, I think that was the case where classically Skade, I think they played to win, whereas I feel like HEET, they were kind of afraid to lose, so they played not to lose, and then they didn't take the initiative. We didn't see the signature peaks, the signature plays that we saw even yesterday against ENCE in the semifinals. So HEET, definitely something to work on still, but where they are as a team, I think they can be, in retrospect, pretty happy with their overall run here, and still things are looking up.
Yeah, their best standing as well in the course of these tournaments. So obviously they've gone a improving curve, so to say, always better than the previous tournament. And getting into the grand finals, already a very good performance from HEET in total. But we do have a winner interview actually ready, so might as well dive straight into that and hear from Bubble himself. Hello once again, and wow,
hello.
You, sir, you are a back-to-back champion, 2 different teams, 2 victories in a row. How does it feel, man?
Feels great. Feels great to play 5 different maps and not losing single map. That's really good.
Wasn't your trademark before losing the first map and then win the other 2? Wasn't that the thing? Or was that a Skade thing before? I can't remember which team it was.
No. If you have the chance to take the first map, always gonna take this shot.
Fair enough.
All right. Yeah. Overall, seems like you were in a rush today. You need to win this grand final quickly because you have the open qualifiers coming up. But overall, what was the? Yeah, I'm onto something there. Overall, what was the preparation for like this big day? Because it's a lot of important matches for you guys today.
Can you repeat again? Sorry.
Yeah, what was the overall preparation for this day, the grand final, all in all?
Well, basically, I knew that they're gonna try to counter some of our anti-ecos and pistols, so that's why I wanted to make some different calls and make some fakes of our pistols, and it worked. Seems like so. Yeah. That was our prep, and we just knew exactly how they're starting on the first gun rounds. That was the basic information we had.
Well, you got to be very happy with the team's performance. You just won $50,000 as well out of this one, but obviously you have a lot of Counter-Strike to go. You played a long day yesterday as well. So I'm not going to ask what are you going to do during this break because you only got like, what, 2 hours or something. But what are you going to do after? Yeah, let's talk about that.
When we finish with the major qualifier, I hope we win. Maybe I'm gonna have even 3 beers because it was really a long week.
Yeah.
No, for real, like we are not stopping playing at all.
What else?
Yesterday, for example, we had like 10 games. I think we played.
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
In total.
Yeah. What is the next step for you guys? I mean, of course, the RMR qualifiers. You want to get to the RMR, but what comes next for Bubble and the boys?
Well, if we qualify, we are gonna make a boot camp in Bucharest, most likely.
Nice.
So we can prepare for the enemies there. If we are not qualifying, we're gonna put more hard work, of course, and try to reach the highest level as you can.
Well, for the moment and for the next tournament, until then, you are the champions of this season. So congratulations, Bubble, and wish you the best of luck with your RMR games later on with the team.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. Have a nice day.
It was a pleasure. Bye.
Well, there we have it. Skade, second championship as a whole. He gets to take back-to-back titles as well in 2 different teams. So obviously, you can see he's very still kind of focused on, we've got more Counter-Strike to go, obviously, a lot of games to do. And like he said, and we also discussed a long day and a long week.
Yeah, I think also we'll be discussing throughout this weekend about what is the ceiling for HEET. I think that it's also time to kind of have that discussion about Skade too. Like, what is the ceiling? It is a pretty newly formed 5-man lineup and a lot of things to figure out for sure. But good positive signs here. If they do make their way into the RMR, that'll be the great next step to kind of give themselves that challenge because they will be coming in as one of the qualified teams. So I'm sure they're going to be facing some of the previous major teams in the opening rounds. And then if they can make it all the way, Fiend was very, very close from making it, as in Bubble and Dreamer, into the previous major. Just being edged out by Copenhagen Flames. So if they can make it into the major, that'd be the massive next step for this team.
Yeah, things would be definitely looking up. And initially, I wasn't sure what the addition of Bubble and Dreamer into this team would make Skade, because I felt like Skade was onto something already with their previous lineup. But now looking at the team, I think it feels even a little bit better with what Bubble has been able to bring in, and especially Dreamer as a pretty good star player as well. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't look
Pretty good.
Pretty, yeah,
pretty good.
Yeah, let's talk about Dreamer and bring up his card. You could almost say that he was the MVP of this specific series. Crazy performance out of this one. 16-8 victory and 30 kills in that.
Yeah, I think overall in the tournament as well, a lot of impact. A player that can make plays in so many different roles and so many different situations. So a guy everyone's been talking about for the longest time, but of course he had the hindrance of the VAC ban that he wasn't able to participate in the most prestigious tournaments for a couple of years, so that hindered his career. But now he's here, and he's making sure we notice him.
Yeah,
and such a trustworthy closer into these rounds. Anytime he's left in a 2v2 or 2v3, I think like Bubble and the team as a whole can feel pretty confident. Like, okay, even though we're down a man or down 2 men, we could still pull this out because Dreamer can make mistakes. Mistakes happen out of the opponents.
And that's always really good to have like a player like that in your team to always get the security, like you said. The confidence comes to the team as well, knowing that you have this this player who's able to close it out. But there has to be a player who starts it all out. And the Coolbet Tournament MVP, it has to be Dennis Law.
It could have been Dreamer. I mean, it's fair to just to note it out. Just looking at all the numbers and everything, you know, some people would be asking why it's not Dreamer, but Denislaw's impact in opening kills and just impact kills in general was massive in this tournament. And I do believe if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would be looking at Skade as a champion.
Yeah.
Nothing away from Dreamer too, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty happy with the team win. And yeah, even though the MVP goes to Denislaw. And especially because we were talking a lot about those entry frags and who's gonna get them. Bubble was even talking about that, like they don't have like a designated entry fragger, at least when they formed the lineup. And well, in this tournament it was Denislaw pretty much every time, with a success in this opening ratings of like